welcome to another edition of your Wednesday Night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show.
Question is, did she subscribe?
Right.
I know she's down on YouTube.
Representing from the Boondocks. What up, Jobo?
Hello, what's up? Happy Wednesday.
What up? She repping her Hey Sister Soldier look right now. Everybody give it up for Bunny. What's happening, Bunny?
What up? Happy hump day.
T-Bone, what's going on, brother?
I'm back, and I don't know about better than ever, but I'm back.
What is going on, party people? It is your Wednesday Night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show. I am your boy Smooth. I think that may be on the highlight reel tape. And we're glad that you are tuning in live along with the millions
And millions.
of the platform sports talk show fans on once again your Wednesday Night Sports Delight.
Really?
Or
The Brinks truck backing up in his driveway with
There you go.
97 million. There you go.
all you hear is this.
Always somebody who's doing something to give back and letting the next generation.
Say
Don't
straight.
have me tear up on here.
Come on now, don't hit me tear up. You know I get emotional.
But people watching around the world, no pressure. And we already have our favorite fan, Ms. Williams, saying, welcome, Brandon.
Well, how are you? How, Ms. Williams?
A guy who tried to give it his all and put on for the city, to be truthful. Because like I said, I'm St. Louis die hard.
The views of Smooth does not reflect the platform sports talk show or its sponsors.
What is going on, party people? It is your Wednesday Night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show. I am your boy Smooth. We back yet again every Wednesday. Y'all know how we do it. Been doing this 6 years, y'all. 6 years every Wednesday. Bring you nothing but great conversations, great interviews, great everything on the platform sports talk show. We here in the Lou. Wonderful weather. School year has started. Shouts out to all of those who are going to school, all the little ones, the older people who are going to school. My baby girl started today, had her first day. We wish all of those who are going to school a incredible year. Do great things. Strive for perfection. Have fun and be respectful. And let's all pray just for a wonderful upcoming school year for those who need all the prayers from us. Once again, this is your Wednesday Night Sports Delight. Y'all already know how we do it for the first time. Excuse me, if you watch it for the first time, thank you very much. Go ahead and hit that like. Go ahead and share the stream with all your peoples because we have another dynamic show for y'all in store. A lot of topics to discuss and a very special guest who's returning. He's returning on the show, and it's going to be deep. It's going to be personal. You might have to get your Kleenex ready. We don't know. But we're going to definitely dig in at the 8 o'clock hour with our special guest. So get ready. Get your food together. Get your drinks together. Whatever you need to do. Get everything ready right now. And we talk about sports locally and around the world. And, of course, with our special guest at the 8 o'clock hour. Y'all already know what to do as well. Give us that follow on Facebook, on the X, formerly known as Twitter, but now it's just the X at 314 Sports Talk. You can give us an email at platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. Give us a follow on IG at Platform Sports Talk. Go on YouTube, subscribe, click on that bell because anytime we go live, you will be notified. As soon as the show is over, it will be uploaded on Roku. So if you have a Roku device, just add channel, put in the Platform Sports Talk Show, and go ahead and give us that follow. All our shows are on Roku. They're all on Facebook, all on Twitter, and on YouTube as well. All the archive shows we have. Also, we on Hot 365 Radio, where it is always hot. You can download the app on your phone, whether it's Android, whether it's iOS, it doesn't matter. Just put in Hot 365 Radio. You can also go to the website, hot365radio.com. So if you can't see our wonderful faces, you can always hear us in high definition quality. They also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/hot365radio. So basically, there's no reason why you can't either hear us or see us every Wednesday night. And every first Wednesday of the month, you have Ladies Night. Shouts out to the ladies who do an incredible job every first Wednesday of the month. And fellas, if y'all watching and y'all think y'all can get anything past these ladies, you in for a treat. I'm just saying. And then every last Wednesday of the month, we have the Man Cave, the All Men's panel. Fellas hold these down. They have great conversations. They get into it. It's enjoyable as well. So we just have a lot of great things going on with the Platform Sports Talk Show. So go ahead and just let them know this show's been going on for this long. I ain't know about it. I'm tripping. I'm missing out. Let this be the start of something big and better for all y'all. And shouts out to our favorite fan, Miss Dub, showing me love. Let's get it in. And I'm not alone. She is the host of Ladies Night. She got her little one on her lap right now, doing her duties as an incredible mother and panelist on the show. What's going on with you, Bunny?
Happy hump day, everyone. And yes,
Happy day.
I still have the broken glasses, y'all. Month number 2. It is what it is. I'm over it. I went to the optometrist yesterday, so it's promising, but I have to wait 3 weeks until my new glasses come in. So in the meantime, between time, I'm rocking the broke glasses look, and we're going to keep it moving.
You know what?
Y'all.
I didn't even realize that you had, even had one of your, ends on the glasses broke.
Hey, miss stuff. Let me tell you how I know, because when I'm on my Teams meeting call for work, my manager was like, he wasn't sure, he had to do a double take. And then when I went to the office, he tried to help me out. He felt so sorry for me. And he tried to tape it. We tried to glue it.
Oh God.
It's been almost 2 months, y'all. And because, you know, it happens when you have insurance and they give you a strict deadline, you can't go in early and late. So I just got it to the optometrist. But anyway, as long as I can see my viewers and see the comments, bring them on, y'all. I'm here for it with the one-handle glasses.
Right. And shouts out to the little one who making her appearance. It's been a while since I seen her on. So shouts out. So up next, she's holding things down from the Boondocks. Jobo, what's happening?
Hey, what is up? Happy Wednesday. I just realized last night that I have PTO the rest of the week, so today's my Friday, so woo.
What? That's what's up. That's what's up. That's a cool surprise. I mean, hey, I've been on break for quite a long time, so enjoy enjoy it. How has your week been so far?
It's been good. Overtime at work, but whatever. But it's been nice weather, like you said earlier. It got a little hot today. I know it's supposed to be hot the rest of the week, but yesterday was amazing. Just felt like fall outside, so everything's good. Baby Bova's got a big girl room now, so that's fun and exciting. Yeah, it's princess and pink all over the place. So yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. That remind me of baby girl's old room at the old house, and she had like a pink light, and bed was pink, everything was just pink in there, just all princess stuff and everything. So I understand, it's all good, loving it. Now, ladies, y'all aren't the only two ladies who gonna be holding things down tonight. She is back, and she is holding things down in Florida. And y'all know she brings the conversations, y'all. She brings her debating skills, all that knowledge she has, and we're glad to have her back on tonight's show. Everybody show some love to our girl Annie. Annie, what is going on with you?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
What's up?
Wait a minute, you came off soft toned. Wait a minute, where's the hardcore? I'm gonna tell you like a TI is, Annie. Come on.
Guess you
I
can you hear us?
any of that. But
okay.
That's a little better. That's a little better.
No, she was wondering where was all the high energy Annie at? Coming in, you kind of like mellow and real cool, like you had some wine or something. Like you just on chill right now.
We need that high vibration, Annie. High vibration.
Trust me, it's gonna come through all these conversations that we got coming up though. But Annie, how have you been? How life been treating you?
It's been good. It's been busy. End of the semester, so school and grading and getting ready to go into fall for the new semester. So
nice.
Right. Sports right now. So
that's right, because I think you made an announcement last year that you started this your second year now teaching.
This is finishing my third academic year, so I'm going into my fourth year.
Okay, dope. How's that experience been for you?
I love teaching.
What courses do you teach?
I teach advanced research, social welfare policy, mass incarceration and reentry, and practice with organizations and communities.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, man. I'm truly blessed to have not just an incredible panel on the show, but from all the men and the ladies. I mean, they outside the show, they do incredible things. From you, Annie, doing what you're doing, Bunny, how you've been doing things since I've known you since day one. Joe, I know you're doing incredible things at the job as well. T-Bone in law school now, and we just have so many talented people, and it's just a pleasure to have all y'all here as fam, and we are doing big things, man. So shouts out to each and every one of y'all, man, for real. That's super dope, man. So let's get right into it because we have a lot of topics to discuss. Y'all know how we do it. You now have my attention. What sports story or stories has your attention? Jobo, you go first.
All right, I have two. First, I'll start off with I saw on Twitter today Klaus out there practicing with SC, so he's right around the corner. That's got me excited. I
Yeah, I'm
don't know
excited.
what was going on with the short shorts in the video, but whatever. I don't care. We need him back on the field ASAP. It's been too long.
He knew exactly what he was doing. Short shorts, social media. He want to get everyone excited. You already know how it is. It's the same way with how LeBron, he'll have his shirt off and show the abs, or a football player want to have the little spandex shorts on, right? He running. They know what they be doing.
I've never worn shorts that short before in my life. I'm gonna say that right now. Anyways, all right. So my second sports story, it's a bad one. I don't like it. I hate it. It's bad for baseball, and I don't know if you guys heard about this Wander Franco stuff going on. It's
Yes, talk
I
about it.
so pretty much, if no one knows, there's started on Twitter as all this stuff does, but now the Dominicans in on it. The MLB's investigating in it, but there's allegations of him and a 14-year-old dating, and it's more than just a 14-year-old. There's might be others, and it's just he's on the restricted list, I think it was, and it's just I'm tired of this. You remember, like, there's the Pirates, Felipe Vasquez. This happened to a Pirates reliever a handful of years ago. And I did not like there's Dominicans on Twitter trying to back him up, saying that's normal or that's okay in the Dominican. I don't care. You're playing baseball in the United States. It's gross. I hate it. And now one of the best young talents in baseball on a really good, young, exciting team is probably not going to play baseball ever again in Major League Baseball. So I don't know. The Rays were like a really good story to start the year off, and then things have just gotten worse and worse for them. And this is just icing on the cake, and it's disappointing.
And just to clarify, the lady was 14 at the time, and he was 18 at the time when they were so-called involved in a relationship. And I can't believe I'm not can't believe I don't recall if you said it or not, but apparently she may be with child as well. So at the time he was 18, she was 14. Still is definitely wrong. And then as you just said today, it was being told that the Dominican Republic authorities in a division that focuses on minors / gender violence, and a judge who's a child abuse specialist are handling the case. So yeah, like you said, Joe, it's not looking good at all for Wander Franco, and just a promising career. Was second year in the league, I believe, and
It's
just
like
getting
his
his
second full year, but he's
okay.
got like the biggest contract in Rays history before he even stepped on a major league field. Like that, he was a phenom coming up. He was supposed to be the
Right.
next big thing, and I just don't understand why some of these athletes and any sport you're given the world, you're getting paid millions of dollars, and they just continue to do stupid things, and it just blows my mind because he was benched earlier this year because of his attitude and stuff. It's just like I just don't understand it, and it's just disappointing.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely unfortunate situation. Bunny, when you hear about what's going on with Wander Franco, what are your thoughts?
Well, unfortunately, if it's a accepted culture in Dominican, I mean, can't control what other countries do, but realizing that when you're in the U.S. playing for a U.S. team / just in the U.S., like I treat like a regular employee. Employee in the United States, you gotta follow the United States rules. We do not condone anyone dating people under the age of 17, 18, let alone having a child on the way with them at that young age. Granted, this player is older now, but hence again, the damage is done if she's with child. So it's unfortunate. I don't know what MLB will do besides what. Let's say the receipts come out and it's true. Are they gonna suspend him for a year? They're gonna ban him? What are the repercussions? Do y'all
He
know?
might be banned because Felipe Vasquez is. I think he's in jail. Like he's not playing. It's I don't. It's just weird. What up, Cam? I saw he just liked my post on Facebook, but yeah, it's just
Oh my Lord.
all right. So
What?
this This is the thing with him and Brendan all the time.
Huh?
All right,
Come on, give us
it's
the
been-
background real quick because I'm lost.
all
and y'all
right,
got the
all right.
inside joke.
I've known Cam since high school, but him and Brendan are good bros. They work together. They talk all the time, and it's just a thing, a little bit they got going on. Okay, like I could even show you a picture that they just like. There's a picture of Brendan holding Mia, and Cam put his face on Brendan's face and put Brendan on Mia's face, and like they just mess with each other all the time. Brendan does the same thing with his wife. It's whatever. It's just a funny little bit. So, Cam, text me. We'll talk about it. But what I was gonna say is, it's not even just like the dating or doing things with younger girls. It's you got the Marcelo Zuna thing that's happened, a Roldis Chapman thing that's happened, and it's just I don't know. It's just these guys don't learn, but. Azuna and Chapman are still getting paid millions to do whatever, so I guess you can hold a gun up to your wife and hit them if you want and still be able to play.
At this point, if you dig deep into non-athletes who are men and accused of doing the same thing, it'd be a few hundred people that are in powerful positions and regular workers that would be in trouble as well. It's unfortunate because I know we're entertainment, so when these people on TV, we definitely look at their lives more. But it's unfortunate we're dealing with the society, men and women, and how we're treated, and it's not equal. And again, domestic violence, statutory rape, all the other stuff is like, well, men will be men. Some people still have that mindset. It's not true, but it shouldn't be, normalized. But you see the beautiful girl here, you have a beautiful girl. The one when our daughter's at 14, 15, 16-year-old dating a whole adult. I mean, that's my thoughts on it. It's crazy, but people just try to normalize and brush it under the rug. All right, Ken, what you say? Oh, okay. You talking about little baby Boba.
They talk about your baby.
Oh,
Right.
okay, because y'all talking about you and him always with the baby thing. That's why. Oh, thanks. Say thanks, Cam. Thanks, Cam.
Annie, with you hearing this about Wanda Franco, your thoughts on the situation?
I don't think I have anything to add, really. I mean, I agree with what Bunny said. Like, I understand that people want to say, well, in our cultural practices, people have different cultural understandings of adulthood, right? Like 18 is a social contrivement of adulthood. In other cultures, it's much younger. But in terms of playing an American sport, and you're here, and this is the public that's evaluating those behaviors, and without any type of like punishment, it comes off as like implicit consent, which is probably not the message that an American fan base, that a US fan base wants to send around these things. And so, it's just a lot of stuff tangled in together, but at the end of the day, like, your employer is based in the United States, and they're going to go by the cultural practices of that audience. And so, yeah, from like a sports perspective, in terms of what it means for the MLB, I think, it's sad that I feel like these stories keep coming up or keep surfacing, or just in general, relationship, like gender-based violence and relationships among athletes. But so I think if it's like a stick to sport situation, that there has to be consequences of some sort. Not that we can legislate what other people do in their cultures, but I agree with Bunny, from like a US employer stand base made for a US audience, there has to be consequences of some sort.
And speaking of that, Bunny, you brought up what the MLB may do. I think the MLB may be the last obituaries, because you got to see what's going to happen with the rules in the DR. They may have some much stricter rules to go down with on Wanda than what MLB would do. They probably gonna wait on them before they make a ruling on anything as well.
Because I think Vasquez is in prison in the DR, so yeah, I mean, you're right with us saying that.
Annie, since you got background HR, clarify this for me. If you have a employee that's not a U.S. citizen, but they're here legally working, and they get in trouble with the laws of the land, does the country where they originate from, or they did their quote unquote illegal activity, they get to, what's the word, contact the U.S. or contact an employer, say, hey, we need to bring them back, like I guess extraditing? Is that the similar thing, or what happened? Because y'all talking about MLB will be the last thing that's up. Hold on. MLB will be the last one to say something, but he broke U.S. law, he broke Dominican law. Like, whose law did he break? And then as an employer, how does that work?
Yeah, I don't know where it all took place, so Bo would have to answer that question. But or Bo, Lord, I don't know what I'm saying.
I'm like, who was that?
Bo, you have to answer that question. Bo knows, and Joe Bo knows. For all the Joes and all the Bo's know the answer to that question. But most employers, particularly, so one, he's not employed by the MLB, he's employed by the team. And so depending on where the team is located, if they're in at-will state, they can let go of him for any reason. Most teams have contracts around like player misconduct, which are intentionally vague, so that they can let go of players at any point. So at the most, they could, release him, technically terminate his employment. And then what laws he's subject to is dependent upon where the offenses were committed. The U.S. does have extradition, reciprocity with the Dominican Republic. And so depending on the seriousness of the offense, if it did happen there, the U.S. could transport him, send him back where he could face things. So yeah, the legal stuff will be disentangled from the employment issues, because most teams have some, either whether they're at will states so they can just let you go, or whether it's in their contracts. There's typically some like conduct detrimental to the team. That's a vague clause that really gives them carte blanche to fire you, and having minimal financial impact in terms of what they have to pay you. And then also most leagues have it set up about how that works. Well, baseball is a non-cap sport, so this doesn't apply there. But for the other sports, they typically have provisions for like, if you let somebody go under that clause, how that counts against your cap, whether or not you get to add another roster space. So each league kind of handles that piece of it differently.
And Joe, just gotta get this comment up for you because the camera want to show me some love too. So
Yep.
there you go. All right. So Bunny, what sports story has your attention?
Man, we got some breaking news, and we also have some already news, like duh.
Okay, hold on.
So
you said we got some breaking news?
Yeah, let's play that. There you go. So the sports story that had my attention on the soccer world, and the breaking news is the U.S. women's soccer team head coach has just been fired. Surprising not, but literally like within the last hour he got fired. And we all know how the U.S. women's team did not advance far. Hold on, baby. But what had my attention was shout out to Las Carnales, also known as the women's soccer team from Panama. This is the first time they made their appearance in the U.S. Women's World Cup. They didn't advance too far, but to make it their first time in, that means they, did some good things during competition to get this far. But the attention get, of course, the U.S. not advancing for compared to the other previous teams. And
right.
I don't want to compare this though, because there are going to be some men that's going to be like, see, women were asking for all that equal rights, equal pay. They finally get it, and they flop in the World Cup. And don't equate the two things together. They just didn't perform like they should have, and like the expectations were, but that doesn't mean they still don't need to be getting paid just as much as men. Because overall, over the last decade, we've done much better in the World Cup compared to the men. But that's what had my attention.
Joe Bo, were you able to follow up on women's soccer just to see how they played and what may have happened this summer?
I haven't been paying attention to it, but there was like a week or so ago, I heard Taylor Twellman on ESPN radio talking about how they just haven't looked that great, and he's been saying for a couple of years now that some of these other teams coming up, they're going to be good, and that USA women's soccer may not be steamrolling through everyone like they usually do. So I don't know. I was just trying to look on Twitter, looking for that breaking news that Bunny just gave. So I'll have to look into that.
And Annie, I know that you're very familiar with a successful women's championship team. We know that your former team, your what 3-time, right? 3-time champ for the St. Louis Slam. They had a great season. Unfortunately, it didn't end the way they wanted to. I did see it on ESPN. I'm like, oh, look at them on ESPN. Go ahead on. Then I saw the score. I was like, oh man, what happened? Just from your thoughts, I'm sure you saw the game, or probably talked to the players or whatever. Your thoughts on championship game and the overall season that they had, because I mean, only had one loss, and that was just unfortunately at the wrong time.
Yeah, and the tie into the soccer of it all is good things happen when we invest in women's sports, and when the spoils or the attention from the male counterparts get applied to the women's sports, that it ends up better for everyone. So like, even with the women's early exit in the round of 16 from the US World Cup, the men's US national team, each player on that team still gets $300,000 for them losing in the round of 16. They would have gotten more the more that they had advanced. But that's what the pay equity is. It's not like they're just taking from the men's pot of money. Is that they agreed to an overall share of Olympic competition funds and international play. So the men who sat at home and watched will get a check for $300,000 because of the women, like by our standards that have been set over the last decade, not succeeding. I would love to just get a $300,000 check for just having sat at home and watched and calling it unsuccessful. But where that parallels to like women's football, so the Slam did lose in the championship, and what was the most competitive game that Boston, which I think is, I mean, it's between them and the Dallas team and the WFNC in terms of who has a rightful claim to like the best women's professional tackle football team. But like they get a lot of support from the Patriots, and they just recently like showed how Robert Kraft invited them to Foxborough for like their own mini championship ceremony with them, you know, winning the championship again this year. The last 2 years, the Patriots have covered their travel to the championship game. And it's just like that investment alone, and the investment that they get from the Patriots and the support that they get by having the Patriots, like amplifying them, putting them on their newsfeed, putting people on, like they have an actual fan base. They have financial support that frees them up to do the football of it all. For the St. Louis Slam, we spend as much time fundraising to have our season as we do watching film and practicing. And so just that investment that comes from men's sports lending their both financial capital and their social capital truly does grow the game such that everybody wins, to the point where when we're all successful, even men will sit home and collect checks off of the success or perceived lack of success of women winning. Same thing with like the WNBA when we make deeper investments. And then a lot of the owners of WNBA teams are also owners of NBA teams. So if they make money in the WNBA, then that trickles over to what money they have available to them in total. Whether or not they choose to spend that on players in their own stadiums and all that other stuff, it's a different conversation. But everybody wins when we invest in women's sports. So yeah, that's the tie-in.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And while we at it, did you have a sports story or stories that has your attention?
I had just seen the soccer thing. I've been looking at like player evaluations, and Joe, I don't know if you saw that like somebody crunched the numbers about what Shohei Ohtani's like actual value is to an MLB franchise versus like what he may actually get paid in his next contract. There was a recent evaluation for what like Lionel Messi has meant to Major League Soccer since, you know, coming to play with Miami FC. I think they said today for their next match, standing room only tickets are going for $600. That costs more than what it used to be to watch the games in a suite. And now it's like for standing room only, and just like how one player can change the valuation of an entire team. So I just think that's really interesting, even though all these players don't always make that money. I think just the contrast in certain sports of how one person can completely change the evaluation of a sports franchise versus something like soccer where you have like 52 man rosters, and we're talking about, should we pay running backs at all? They should just be grateful to play, and they should pay us for the privilege of running the ball for our team. So it's just interesting to see how those numbers work across sports. And then I've actually been enjoying preseason football. I don't usually watch preseason football, but there's a lot of compelling teams, a lot of interesting teams. One thing that I think is interesting, like Lamar Jackson was talking about how he's been getting plays from social media.
I saw that.
He's been adding them to the playbook. It's not as ridiculous as it sounds because, those plays are also coming from somewhere. So it's, not like so I don't think it's completely ridiculous, but I also would love it if in the preseason was when people just tried like and one football and just did ridiculous stuff and tried it out to see what works. I would love if preseason were treated like and one and we just did ridiculous like other things. I would definitely watch that.
I'm gonna take that idea to the NFL then for next year.
That's what I want to see. I just want to see like
the other fans what they want that preseason. It's called like you said.
Yeah, I just want to see like random stuff in the preseason because people are playing. It's not as bad as the Pro Bowl, but people are playing soft, and so it's just like let's stretch the playbook a little bit. Let's only have 3 linemen.
Look, let's get preseason spicy.
Exactly. Let's just have 3 linemen, the quarterback. And let's have 7 receivers.
Oh God, don't do that. Don't do that.
Everybody just run 9 routes.
Be making it spicy.
Go.
I'm here for it. NFL, listen to what Andy says. All our viewers and listeners, let the NFL know. Make preseason spicy next year.
There we go. Let's try some annexation of Puerto Rico. Let's try some statues of liberty.
Don't know, Lord spread. No, we gotta shake it up some.
Oh goodness. Just the second year now that the preseason is doing 3 games. Annie, your thoughts on that? You like it, or should it be back at 4, or should it be maybe 2 games?
I think it's a give or take. I think without guaranteed contracts, it's always going to make sense to play fewer games that have a lower value than later games. But what it does is it just makes for really sloppy football at the start of the regular season. And it makes it really hard to like evaluate teams at the start of the season, where it's like you get to the end of the year and you're like, how did the Houston Texans beat the Kansas City Chiefs? And it's like, well, it was week 1. Like everybody was still working the kinks out, like all that other stuff. And it just makes it hard to evaluate teams because they aren't getting that real contact prior to going into the game, such that the first like 3 or 4 games of the regular season are essentially just the preseason. And you wonder whether or not, the reason why preseason has been good, it doesn't help guaranteed starters. I think who having fewer games helps are people at the back end of the roster who are trying to make the team. Because now you don't have 4 games to prove yourself. You've got 3, which means you're also cutting back some time because that 3rd game, they're probably going to play more starters. And if you're back at the roster, you may not get as much time. And just seeing so many people who like I didn't know or maybe kind of heard of in college, fighting for minutes, making incredible plays. There's been some good football that's been played. So I think it benefits them because it ups the ante for them if you're at the back of the roster. But I think it just hurts people who will regularly be starting, and it devalues or waters down the product at the beginning of the regular season. But without guaranteed contracts, I mean, people got to make business decisions, and coaches have to make coaching decisions. It's not even just about players wanting money. It's about, if I'm a coach, why would I have, Justin Fields throw more than 3 passes, more than 3 yards down the field? Like, that doesn't make sense to me as a coach. It doesn't make sense to me as an owner if I'm looking out for the best interests of my franchise. So it doesn't make sense for anybody except for people fighting for a spot. So I don't want to put that all on the players. Like, they're the ones being greedy and not wanting to get hurt. It's like, it makes sense for everybody for them to play.
Yeah, because like even with the Rams, they don't play Aaron Donald and Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp in the preseason at all. Like, you're gonna see them, wait till week 1. So that's just how it is now.
Right. Then when the season actually starts, the first 3 games that they play are like
rusty.
It's like the first pancake on the griddle. Like, this is just to test out the consistency of the batter and the heat of the griddle. Like, this doesn't mean anything to us. And so, but people will be talking, has Aaron Donald lost a step? And it's like, no, he got to warm up. He probably hasn't lost any step, but he probably won't look like himself. The connection between whoever, is Stafford starting? What is going on with Matthew Stafford? Is he hurt still?
No, he's ready to go. He had a surgery or whatever during the off season, but he's ready to go. Like I said, they're just not gonna play him or Cooper Kupp or anyone who has experience on that team. They ain't playing until week 1.
Yeah, so that connection won't be as crisp. I don't even know who your receivers are other than Cooper Kupp, because like y'all receivers were hurt by the end of last year. So all of that's going to be, it's going to look like garbage the first couple of weeks, and it will have no bearing on what they look like at the end of the season. So,
right. So a few things that has my attention. First thing, shouts out to former panelist on Ladies Night, Coach Dominique Stringer. She just got married this past weekend, so congrats to her. Congrats to the Stringers, and just pray for a wonderful, wonderful up-teen thousands of years of wedding, of marriage and happiness. So shouts out to them. Locally, Joe, it was announced today that one-on-one ESPN's own Jamie Rivers will be the permanent analyst for all Blues hockey games. I pretty much saw this coming once Darren Payne left, and of course they made it official. Your thoughts on Jamie Rivers being the new panelist for all Blues hockey games?
First thought was, I hope Brooke gets him on with us here like next week, because preseason hockey starts in like a month. But no, it's awesome for him. Like you said, you could kind of see the writing on the wall after Panger left. So good for him. And I guess he'll be doing like what BT does with one-on-one now, kind of just pop it in here and there. So might be hearing another voice on ESPN here soon.
Yeah, he said that unless they have a game or he's traveling, he'll be on every show still, or at times he'll be on remote. So he'll still be a permanent member on one-on-one ESPN. But one thing I thought about, Joe, and I wish the Bunny should be back in a second, but one thing I thought about when I saw that Jamie Rivers got the job, I'm like, you got to get on one-on-one ESPN, because people keep getting on these shows and they keep getting these wonderful promotions. You got to go ahead and get our feet in the door some way, somehow, so we can make this happen. And then second, like you said, Joe, you got to, because I've been trying, full transparency. I've been trying to see about getting Jamie Rivers on the show, but he is so busy with so many things going on, from one-on-one ESPN to his Synergy Hockey company that he has. So he's a very busy man. So we are definitely working on trying to get him on the show before things get even more busier for him. But shouts out
it's the
to
one
him.
sport. It's the one sport we haven't had out yet. So come on.
Right. And there goes Bunny. And in the NBA, shouts out to the new inductee
Hall of Fame
NBA Hall of Fame, Paul Gasol, Dirk Nowitzki, Greg Popovich, Tony Parker, Dwayne Wade, Their speeches were incredible. Dwayne Wade's speech, in which he included his father at the very end, saying, "Dog, we in the Hall of Fame." Like, that was an incredible moment. And I also want to highlight Becky Hammond. She's not pictured here on this slide, but she is also inducted. She was under the tutelage of Coach Pop while she was with San Antonio Spurs, and she learned how to win under him. And now she's doing great things with the WNBA's own Las Vegas Aces, who just won a championship this past year, and they have one of the best records in all of WNBA, probably the best record right now in all of the WNBA. So shouts out to the recent inductees to the 2023 Hall of Fame class. Now, next.
Aces lost the Commissioner Cup yesterday, so that was a
I
surprise.
saw that.
So they lost to the Liberty.
And I think one of the main reasons why, too, is that Candace Parker, she's out for probably the rest of the year because she has a messed up knee. She was playing well with the team. And, the Liberty, they're stacked. They have a stacked team as well. And maybe just not having Candace Parker could possibly hurt things down the long run in regards to the WNBA season for the Aces. But we'll see. Like I said, they're reigning champs. They still have majority of their players back, so they should be fine.
So can I ask Joe a question?
Yeah.
Okay, Joe. So we just talked about the Commissioner's Cup with the WNBA. That's their midseason tournament. Everything has been finalized for the NBA. This will be their first year doing an in-season tournament. How would you feel if in Major League Baseball, instead of like the All-Star game or the All-Star break, they did a mid-season tournament for baseball or hockey?
So does it like mean something? And what I mean by that is the All-Star game no longer technically means anything. The guys still play like it means something because they're athletes, they're competitors, but like, do you legit get like some ring and some trophy and
you get trophies and money?
Everyone likes money, so I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I just think the All-Star game just is such a big thing with baseball. It's been going on for almost 100 years now. We're a couple years away from 100 years, and I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool because I'm down to see anything, But and then also though, since it's a tournament, kind of like the WBC was a tournament, and me and Fred talked about this a little bit last week about how some teams blame the WBC for performances, or like what if someone gets hurt during that, during a tournament, and then they can't compete in the second half of the season onto the postseason, World Series and stuff like that. So I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe you can have a tournament for the bad teams.
Ooh.
That'd
Yeah,
be
because I was gonna say to me, the fans will love it, but the MLBPA will not, because of what
But
Joe
who wants
brought
to
up.
see a bad teams play though? I don't understand that logic.
Whoa. But there's some good young players on these bad teams. I'll say that. I mean, the A's, I know they're probably kicking our butts still, but they got some good prospects on their team. The Nationals have been one of the best teams in baseball since the All-Star break. They got some really good young talent, So I don't know. It would be watching like an All-Star game of AAA. But if you are a big lover of the game and you enjoy watching it, like Fred, I'm sure you keep track of Mason Wynn and what he's doing, and Tink Kent's, like it would be something like that. It'd be kind of like the Futures game, but MLB players. So that'd be kind of cool to see.
The logic, okay, it may make sense, but from a business wise, it doesn't make sense. We don't want to promote AAA type players on the major league level. Hence why they're major league players.
What are you talking about? That's half the rosters nowadays is AAA players.
I mean, because you got to come from somewhere. Just like a lot of the NBA players came from more than likely NCAA college teams. Hey. However, I don't want to keep seeing NCAA the best of the best collegiate players and NBA game tournaments. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will watch the NCAA game for that. Now, granted, we're talking about MLB. AAA doesn't get much TV time and exposure like MLB teams. But to me, it's still money. I'm sorry, you all. Hey.
No, I mean, like, I get what you're saying, Bunny, but if we're gonna do something like that, then I don't want to see again like Jose Altuve broke his hand in the WBC. I wasn't blaming the WBC because I was interested and I loved watching that. But
It
I'm not
happened.
gonna say it happened. It sucked, and you know he missed like 2 months. Like so that sucked. There's other people that got hurt too, but I think Altuve is probably the main one. Diaz for the Mets. I 100% think the Mets would be a better team this year if Diaz didn't didn't pull a Fred out there on the mound. You know what I'm saying? Like did something with his knee. So I'm just saying. So and there was so many people, Mets fans and some Astros fans, just complaining on Twitter constantly because star players got hurt, and so I would hate to see someone get hurt in the All-Star game. I would really hate to see someone get hurt in a money grab, I guess you could say, in the middle of the season whenever there's bigger and better things to be playing for.
I think we can make it spicy. So kind of like relegation in the European League. We can do it where if you don't win, we have the bottom half of the league compete, and like the people who lose, you don't get to play the rest of the season. So you don't play the remaining 82 games. You're just done. You're trash. You're out.
That's wild. There's some teams that turn it on there.
It's too much money out there sitting and doing nothing and being trash and on the sideline.
Exactly. We got to make
too much money sitting there for that to happen. No, ma'am. Not
and there goes that franchise.
Exactly. Or what we could do is we have them play, and the team that wins gets to pick a player from the losing team to be on their team now.
Oh Lord, that sounds like some fantasy baseball stuff, like fantasy baseball leagues.
I'm they can give the losing team their worst player. Yeah, they could give the losing team their worst player. Just spice it up a little bit. I'm trying to do something with baseball. I really, really want to get into baseball. I think I said this last time I was on. Like I love who's the guy who I love? Ellie something?
Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah.
That's the thing though.
Exciting.
Every single weekend I'm seeing that viewership and everything is going up with baseball this year. So people like short games apparently, and they like pitchers rushing. And Bunny, you can't talk because you weren't here last week, so I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I said this last season. Fred, run the tapes back from last year, before last, when I say speed the game up, let's get into the 2020 version, and Justin will be the 90s version. You heard me say this new time.
Okay.
We always sit here and say, I want the 90s version.
So, Bunny, last week we had a topic. We had a topic last week, and I asked Joe, I said, has Rob Manfred made the game of baseball better now? Your thoughts?
Ooh. Has he made it better? Has his game improved some on the field? Yes. Overall, has he made it better? I wouldn't give him that credit. I'll give the team that helped him work with him some credit. Him personally, as far as commissioner, nah.
Well, that's what I was saying, Bunny.
Behind where he should be, at least in the forefront. He's still way behind on the side. Like I said, his team of people around him get credit. Because a lot of the stuff they start implementing, they did it in AAA. But still, him, too much credit. That's like saying,
do it, huh?
Then that's like his name. Goodell gets credit for, okay, we got more black people that are in coaching. We got more women that are coaches. We got more blacks getting guaranteed contracts. Hell no, he don't get credit for that. Even though that's all not true. But I'm just saying, if it was, he wouldn't get that credit. No.
Yeah, the owners like him, but that's like the only people, and that's just because he bends over for the owners, and that's that. So I don't like him. I won't like him till the day I die, honestly. And I can't wait till the day he's out of the league. I really don't think there's anything he could do that would make me like him.
Hence why she calls on Rob Man a fraud still.
Yep, Rob Manfred. Fraud.
So
yeah.
So Joe Boat, let's stick with baseball because I want to get this in before we have our special guest come on at 8:00. Contenders, pretenders. I'll have you go first, Joe. Bunny, second, and Annie, if you want to join in, please feel free. First team, This team is in the National League West. They have been quiet in the early start of the year, but now they're starting to get hot. And Joe, we all know based off last year we're having with Philadelphia Phillies, how they snuck in, and then what happened? They got to the World Series. So, what are your thoughts about San Fran Giants? Contenders, pretenders?
The Giants are weird to me, but shoot, I don't know. They had some weird like 107 win season a couple of years ago with the team that I did not think could do that. So I'll say they're contenders. I feel like they're, with the exception of this year, like the Cardinals, they're usually in it till the very end most of the time. They got a decent pitching staff. Logan Webb's a stud. I'll say they're contenders. They got a lights out closer too.
Bunny, anything? Contenders, pretenders?
I think they're I think they are contenders. I don't know all the ins and outs of their roster, how it's compiled, like who their bats are and their pitching. But historically, San Fran, believe it or not, y'all, they're on the Cardinals' heels as far as World Series champs. Because remember in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, like 10 and 12, they had won the last 3 out of 6 World Series up until like 2018. So they'll seem like to start off quiet and then come through later in the season. So if they are how they usually are, then I say they're contenders. And even though the NL West is no pump, we all know, but because the Padres didn't perform at expectations like we thought they would, that's helping the Giants as well.
Annie?
They're pretenders. I don't know anything about them.
You just wanted to be different.
Are they? Are they Pirates? Do they
there
have
we go.
That's the reason.
That's the reason.
Do they have Ellie De La Cruz? No. Then they're pretenders.
Not you good because they're like.
Let me tell you something. I said we could go to our before baseball season started episode, and I said that the most improved team, or one of the most improved teams this year that would surprise you, was the Pirates. Now I didn't say they were going to win anything, but I will say for like the first 2 to 3 months, they were surprising just about everyone in the world. So they made some steps, and they did it all without O'Neal Cruz. So maybe next year they'll be contenders if they spend some money finally.
This year, what are you talking about? Season's not over.
Cardinals
ain't over yet.
Cardinals too.
For the Pirates, it is. We already know about the Cardinals, but the Pirates is, it's our team. So
no, we're about to we're about to surge.
There we go.
About to go on a 1.5 month win streak.
Right.
Again, girl, bye. No, they're like the Cardinals. They are going to be looking for the offseason already. Got their plans for their vacation. They're already setting that stuff up now.
All right. So we got to do rapid fire. Up next, Toronto Blue Jays. Joe.
Contenders.
Bunny.
Can I flip a coin on that one? Continue.
Okay. Annie.
Pretenders.
Up next. Now, this team here, I was saying at the beginning of the year, watch out for this team. They may win the division, and they're very close to doing that in the NL Central. The Cubs.
I'm still gonna say pretenders only because it doesn't make sense to me. That's my reasoning behind it. Is it doesn't really make sense. I will say,
like, why is happening right now?
The Bellinger 1-year deal is paying off dividends for them. That he's gonna get a big contract this offseason. I do believe, and I think I've said this before, is Dansby Swanson. He crushes fastballs. He's a great defender. Pairing with Nico Horner up the middle, that's amazing. And he's won his whole life, like bringing that type of player along with Bellinger, who's only won ever in his life as well. Bringing 2 of those guys into a team that's very young and wasn't very good for a while into a place like Chicago, you'd think only good things would happen. But I mean, they did DFA Eric Hosmer and Trey Mancini, so like they added a lot of weird pieces, but those 2 right there are obviously the bright spots.
Bunny.
Oh, definitely there's some pretenders too. One of the best
And
out there, pretending to do something and they know they won't.
I already know about Annie.
Of
So you
course
gonna be a
they're
contender?
contenders
What?
because we're gonna win the division. So
Girl, stop.
You're just
Now you're supposed to be a Pirates
keeping
fan,
things
and
warm
you're gonna
right
actually
now.
be for the Cubs. Come on now, you can't do that.
No, they're just holding second place warm, and then we'll come up and take it, and then first, and then win the pennant. The end.
What is she
It's like that.
delusional?
All right, Joe. This team was in the World Series last year, representing the NL Phillies. They're a hot team right now, playing much better.
Yeah, I'll say they're contenders again. I mean, they got just so many superstar names on that team, a lot of young talent, a decent rotation. So I'm gonna say they're contenders again.
All right, Bunny.
Pretenders.
And I know Annie answer already, so
No, I'm gonna say contenders. If it can't be
What?
Pirates, if it
Go
can't be
against what I
Pittsburgh, it might as well be Philadelphia.
okay. Joe, another NL Central team. They're currently leading the division, Milwaukee Brewers. Now, this team has been consistently right there. They just haven't been able to go over the hump in the playoffs. But your thoughts on this team, contenders or pretenders?
You gotta say contenders just because of the rotation in the back of the bullpen they have. That's what wins World Series, honestly. So I say contenders.
Bunny.
Contenders for the division because they're gonna win it, but they're gonna be pretenders when it comes to the postseason. Let's keep it 100. I know you said their rotation is steady, Joe, but I'm just saying their historical track record of the last 2 years, 3 years actually. No, they're not. Let's just say we put the Brewers, did their whole good pitching staff against somebody from the West, the Dodgers, somebody from the East, Phillies, or the Braves. They're gone. It'll be done in 3 games. So I'm sorry, pretenders.
I saw Annie shake her head.
Because they're not gonna win the division. We've already talked about this. They can hold our
That's
seats.
for the Cubs. Whoa. How you for the Cubs being a Pirates fan? They're gonna be the Brew Crew worst fan here. I'm just saying you should be for the Brew Crew over the Cubs.
Oh, I said
Now,
the
for the
Cubs are contenders too. I was just laughing at Joe's reasoning being it don't look right. Joe gives such in-depth analysis for everybody else. He talks about people's rotation, bench depth, batting percentage, and then you get to them and she's like, I don't look right.
Tell me it makes sense. Tell me it makes sense. Every single like talking baseball, even at the beginning of the year, they're like the Cubs are weird. They got some good pieces. Cardinals are stacked, and we suck and they're great this year for some reason. It doesn't make sense. Sometimes those are teams that go on to win, but their 2016 team to this team, it's night and day. Like it doesn't make sense.
So this next team had a rough start, but now they haven't gotten hot, and they're right in the thick of things in the AL wild card. Seattle Mariners.
I'll say contenders again, mainly because of the same thing I said with the Brewers is their rotations. It's really good. It's young, it's stacked, and they're like last year. No one thought they were gonna make it last year. In the second half of the year, they got going and lost to the Stros, but they were hot in the second half.
Bunny.
Contenders, because why not? What they got to lose? They've been losing for all these decades. Why not? I think they got it. The young talent can help them get to the first round, and then after that, but contenders.
Annie.
Contenders. I've actually heard about them and their success recently. So if I hear about you in baseball, that means you're doing something like super extraordinary. So I'm gonna say contenders.
It's Julio. He's the guy that makes them very exciting.
This next team is a team that has Joe always excited. Houston Astros.
Now, if you don't say contenders after the last 7 years, you don't know not just ball, you just don't understand life. So contenders, that's all I gotta say.
You know, the World Series champs are always gonna be contenders until they can't contend anymore. So no, I give Joe both team credit. They're contenders. Pennant
they still
contenders,
cheating?
World
Because
Series
that helps.
contenders.
I mean, if they're still cheating, that helps. Then they're contenders.
Ooh, that shot's fired. Pew, 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 pew.
It's been how long? They've been in the World Series 4 years.
She
And
said,
in
"Let
the
it go."
ALCS 6 times.
They said the same thing
You
about
like
Tom
the
Brady and
Pirates. You
Honestly,
like
though,
the Pirates.
but
Hey, no, you know though that's a good fucking point right there, Annie. Everyone says that shit about Tom Brady, but everyone still loves Tom Brady and he's the GOAT. So why are the Astros still getting shitted on by everyone?
I
it's
didn't
not
say
Brady's
just
a
that.
Hall of
Brady. It's
Famer
the
and everyone
Patriots
loves him.
organization. No, it's the Patriots organization, not just Brady. But they've been proven to be cheaters too, and people still talk about them. Hence, that happened when Brady left, and they said the
Everyone still
Patriots had
talks about it
such a
because
season.
I don't see anyone talk about that anymore. So
I didn't
Oh,
even
and I'm
say
on
that I hate
Twitter and I'm on the
cheating.
Twitter.
The Patriots on it because the Patriots on it right now either, so they help people's case. That's what they're saying. Like that's what they get for cheating, and they got Brady to help them cheat anymore. So that's why they suck.
I don't have a problem with cheating. I just asked if they were because that would help. I never said I was against cheating. I'll flip in the Monopoly board in a minute. I'll pocket the
Yeah,
100
yeah.
if I'm the banker. I don't mind cheating. It's win by any means necessary. I'm
There's
just saying it helps.
2 position players that are currently on the Astros team that were on that team. One was a Hall of Famer before that even happened, and the other one was starting his first full year of his career that year. So, no, I would say no. The other people were all traded from them or in high school whenever that was going on. So,
Well, they're
Stros are the
missing
real
out.
deal. Huh?
They're missing out. Hopefully, they left behind their notes on how to cheat.
Mm.
That way they can get their credit.
This next team had the hottest start in baseball, and now they have a lot of drama going on. That's Tampa Bay Rays.
Pretenders because of Franco, they just lost their ace to Tommy John. They've lost a couple pitchers recently, and they just have not been playing good baseball since the All-Star break.
Bunny.
Oh,
You're
and
on
the
mute.
Baltimore Orioles are the real deal, so that's why also.
No, Bunny, you're on mute.
Thank you. Sorry about that. So flip a coin on this one. The Rays. They're kind of like the Brew Crew contenders out their division, but then in the playoffs they're gonna be pretenders. They're not ready mentally. They got a lot going on, especially with y'all little player in hot water. So yeah, that's no.
And Annie.
Can I hold until later because I have a question and I know we don't have time for questions. But once I get to ask Joe my question, then I'll know.
All right, so we have 4 more teams left. Real quick. Dodgers.
Contenders.
Contenders.
Pretenders.
Texas Rangers.
Contenders.
Tick tock, tick
It's on
tock.
double, right?
No,
No,
she already said contender.
Yes, a contender.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. Pretenders.
Pretenders.
I hope y'all right for my Stroh's sake.
The Atlanta Braves.
Contenders.
Contenders.
Pretenders.
And last but not least, Joe just about this team up, Baltimore Orioles.
Contenders.
Yeah, definitely contending.
Contenders. Because I've heard about them.
That's the only one we all said the same thing about was the
Good.
Orioles, but all 20 teams
Y'all.
just did. That's the only one we all agree on.
The O's, man, they're the real deal. Let me just throw a crazy thing out there for y'all before we move on to our special guest. Is Adley Rutschman, the Orioles catcher, came up last year. If they already won the first game of the series, so it's going to be like 77 series since he's been called up that they have not been swept. They have not been swept since he was on this team. That is a mind-blowing, crazy stat. They're the real deal. They got young talent. The only thing's questionable is their rotation, but I think they have enough to go deep into the playoffs. So they're a fun, exciting team.
The real question is, do they look right?
Do they what?
Do they look right? since that's also how you choose teams, is whether or not it looks right.
Oh no, it looks right. Let me tell you, it looks good. They got some young talent. They in the bullpen. Shoot, Felix Batista. The Stros get him, but they call him the Mountain. They got the Felix is coming for his intro. The lights go off. It's spooky. It's cool. It's gonna be fun to see. I think in the playoffs, and it's exciting. They haven't been in the playoffs since like legit contenders in 2014, and then they got walked off by the Blue Jays in 2016. But they're a fun team to watch.
All right, y'all. Well, before we bring on our special guest, Bunny, I know that you got to go ahead and dip out. So thank you for your time. Any last words?
Well, somebody want to tell you all hello and good night.
Hello. My name's Sasha.
Tell them today was your first day of school.
It was my first day of purple room. And it's
Hey, that's what's up. What grade you in now? What grade you in?
Tell them still in preschool.
purple room.
No,
It's preschool.
That's what's up. That's what's
Tell
up.
our
So thank
special
you once
guest,
again.
hang in there. I follow him on Instagram, so I know the journey he's going through. But hang in there, stay strong. Hey, you can we all support him. He's gonna get through it. Hey. All right, you all
Most
had a
definitely.
lovely time, fun time. Good catching up with you again, Annie. Thank you for
Good night.
hey.
Good night.
Thank you for coming back through. I'll see you all. Is it next week or
week.
the week after?
Yep. Next week.
All right. Have a happy hump day. Good weekend, everyone.
Bye.
All right. Once again, this is your Wednesday night Sports Delight. I'm your boy Smooth. And to the right of your screen, you have
Bojo.
and holding things down in Florida right now, we have
Annie. I don't do nicknames, just Annie.
that's it. Bottom line, 3-time champ is here. That's all you got to say. That the 3-time champ is here. So right now, it is that time to bring in our special guest. We need everyone once again to go ahead and go ahead and like this stream right now and share it with all your peoples. Once again, you can follow us on Facebook, the platform Sports Talk Show, formerly Twitter, that X at 314 Sports Talk. Of course, on YouTube, the platform Sports Talk Show. Make sure y'all subscribe. Click on that.
Bell. Was that me? Bell?
Anytime we go live, you will be notified. Also, we got that Gmail at Platform Sports Talk Show, and then Instagram at Platform Sports Talk. Once again, all of our shows, as soon as it's over, it'll be uploaded on Roku. So you can check us out. If you have a Roku device, add the channel, put in the Platform Sports Talk Show. Also, you can hear us very clearly in high def and sexy voices on Hot 365 Radio, where it's always hot. Download on any Android device or iOS device, or just go to the website, hot365radio.com. They also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/hot365radio. Of course, every first Wednesday of the month, ladies night, all ladies panel, and they hold things down. As y'all can tell already tonight, that these ladies, they ain't no joke. Every last Wednesday of the month, you have the Man Cave. And right now, we have a returning guest to the Platform Sports Talk Show. For those who are watching for the very first time, I definitely wanted to get him on. Reason being because July the 4th, my life changed. I suffered a torn patella tendon that, definitely affect me physically. And of course, it can affect you mentally because you just never see certain things happening in your life. And then something can change your life and alter your life long term. And it's like I can sympathize because I've been dealt with something that I didn't foresee, of course, because no one does. And it really rocked my world. And it brought challenges to my life where it's like, I'm not someone who usually is limited. I like to always be active, doing things. And now being in my predicament where I've been told 6 to 9 month recovery time, you like, what? Like, for real? So I had to, be patient, can't rush things, take my time with everything. and having this man here on the show, I definitely want to make sure I do that and have him on because I want him to get his story told. He's had a lot of visitors who has came to the hospital where he's at and showed him love. I wasn't able to do that, but I want to make sure in my way that I could find a way to see him, show love to him, and have his story being told. Because right now, as we speak, doing this interview, he is at the hospital going through round 4 of 5 of chemotherapy, and he didn't have to do it, but he did, and I appreciate him. He's from the Vashon High School. I think he was like maybe 2 classes over me. Great dude. I didn't realize until maybe after high school that he's my best friend's cousin. Cause like, well, now that he said it, I see it. It's like, well, duh, how come I didn't realize that? But he's a great dude. As I said on the promos, he's a father. He's a former football player at the V. He's a head coach. And right now he is battling the biggest fight that he's ever had to deal with, and that's cancer. And we look forward to having this story told. Everyone, you can leave comments. Do not be shy. We want to get more people to interact with us, with him throughout the show. He's returning for the first time in a couple of years on the Platform Sports Talk Show. And it's an honor to have Coach Damion Mitchell on the Platform Sports Talk Show. Damion, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Can y'all hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, you sound great, man.
Okay. How's it going?
Yeah, man. And doing great. It's a pleasure, man, to have you back on the show. Once again, I know that you're currently in the hospital right now, going through chemo. How has things been going with you, man, over these last few months?
Man, it's been a challenge, man, especially for someone that, never had any, kind of health issues. I've never been in the hospital for anything other than like football injuries or anything like that. So, it's been a challenge, man, something that I had to adjust to and adjust my life to also.
And let me also introduce you to the ladies on the show. We have Joe Bo and we have Annie. Annie, Joe, we have Coach Damion Mitchell.
Nice
How y'all
to meet
doing,
you. Hello. Doing good.
So I know you've been hearing a few of the topics that we had earlier. What are your thoughts on the ladies and how they know their stuff?
Oh yeah, I check y'all out every now and then, man, and them ladies really know their sports, man. So you got a good cast going on here, man. Great show.
Man, I appreciate that. And I said it earlier, like I'm truly blessed to have the panel from the ladies to the men as well, man. They just know their sports. They're very knowledgeable. You could challenge them on anything, and it's like, what else you got?
Yeah,
Like,
they
is that it?
know every sport, too. Hockey to baseball to football, basketball. They know it all.
Yeah, bro. And do you still work with what was the Fritos?
Yeah. I'm currently at Frito-Lay, but I haven't been working, in the last 3 months since I got diagnosed with cancer. So I've been off since then.
Oh, okay. So, if you don't mind, just telling us real quick, like, what is something that you're going through right now with round 4 out of 5? What's going on currently? What have they been doing?
Well, I'm actually on round 5 of 6.
Okay, 5 or 6. Okay.
Yeah, 5 or 6. I'm currently in the hospital right now getting my chemo. I got a 24-hour chemo going through my port right now. I'm here in my chest. When I come in the hospital, I got to stay in the hospital for 5 days because my mass is right in the middle of my chest, and the doctors don't want me to have to do radiation because it's right there by my heart. So that's why I do my chemo inpatient instead of outpatient, like some other cancer patients do. It said it's best for me to do it this way. So I'm just counting down the days, man, and my birthday is tomorrow. So
Right.
I'm in the hospital for my birthday, but when I get out, it's turn up time. So
I love it, man. And shouts out to all the comments coming in. He says St. Louis in the building. We behind you. Is that Ryan, Eileen?
Ryan, what's going on, dog?
Pat, okay. So who was that?
Yeah, Ryan, man, he's a DJ and He's been around the football scene, man, for years, man. Minor league football. So I've been knowing Ryan for a long time.
That's dope, man. And as you just brought up how he's a DJ, you know, I'm a one, and
Yeah.
I've been meaning to, you know, link up with you in the past, man, and do some stuff with with your wonderful promotions and everything. And I want to ask you that because we know how this generation is now. It's not the same how it was when you first started as a, you know, club promoter or party promoter. What are your thoughts now with the nightlife scene and how much things have changed?
Man, when I first started, man, it was you had to do more street and more leg work. You know, I was out all night passing out flyers, and you know, that's right when social media really took off. So I was out all night, 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, passing out flyers, you know, messing up people's cars and, you know, all that. And so now I do, you know, with all the social media avenues, I do most of my work on social media now. And you know, I don't have to be out all night. You know, I got, you know, family, kids, coaching, you know, and all that. So, you know, this day and age, and it got a little harder. So you got to get a little bit more creative with it, you know, with your videos and your posts, you know, and all that. So, you know, I've been blessed to be in the game for 13 years now. So I just got, you know, throughout them years, I just got more creative with it. You know, I didn't give up when, you know, the times got hard, and I just kept it pushing, man. That's all.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And congrats to you for longevity. You know, I've been DJing, doing my thing for over 15 years. Don't even feel like it, but it's like, man, I've been doing it for a long time now, you know, and you know, still being relevant. And you know, as I've been seeing your post about, you know, your party coming up at Elmo's and then that love, and you know, people are just, you know, they continue to show you all the love that you deserve, man, for putting in all that work. And we know how you are such an amazing father. Your son doing well with, I know he's doing track and he was doing football and he's doing wrestling. So how has parenting been for you dealing with you going through chemo as well?
So, you know, I got a great support system. You know, my kid's mom is there. So when I'm in the hospital, she gets them to all the practices that they need. If I need anybody, like, the support has been tremendous, you know, throughout this, you know, whole ordeal. But you know, when I get out, man, my son, you know, he spends weeks with me. You know, he's older now. He just turned 10 last Friday himself. So, you know, he's with me. Like, when I get out the hospital, like, he stays, you know, a whole week with me. So, you know, he's there and I'm always there for him. You know, my daughter, you know, whenever she need me, she's there. I leave her one of my cars when I'm in the hospital. So she's driving that now. She's 16 herself. So, you know, the process with the kids, man, hasn't really been, you know, a big effect on, you know, on anything. You know, when I get out, I'm able to get my son to practice when I'm, you know, when I'm not in the hospital, and I'm there. So, you know, they come up here to visit me. So it hasn't been a real big transition for us parenting wise at all.
Joe, Annie, did y'all have any questions before I proceed?
Yeah, I wanted to know, you know, going through the health challenges and the emotional and physical toll that can take. What lessons are you taking from this experience that you think that you will apply to coaching moving forward? Like, what lessons will you impart to those you coach from what you're learning now, overcoming this current challenge?
Well, the biggest thing is if you have something, you feeling something in your body, you feeling a pain or something like it, go get it checked out. I mean, when I got diagnosed with lymphoma cancer, is the cancer that I have, I let it linger for like 3 days before I got it checked out. So I woke up one day, one Monday morning. I always sleep on my left side. So, you know, I woke up and my arm was swollen. So I went to work. I went to work Monday. Just thought it was nothing. Just thought I just slipped on my arm. I went to work Tuesday. it was the same. And went to work Wednesday, you know, I had some people like, yeah, you need to go get that checked out because my arm was swollen for 3 days. So that Thursday, I had made an appointment to my, you know, my primary care doctor. And he was like, man, I never really seen nothing like this before. My arm was swollen from my shoulder down to my wrist, to my hands and everything. So he was like, I was going to get you to the specialist that's at Mercy, you know, to get you checked out. So that day, I went to Mercy, got it checked out. They did like a scan on my arm. Well, they did the right arm first. They said your right arms look good. So they did like a scan on my left arm. And then she was like, hold on, let me go call your doctor. I'll be right back. I was like, I cracked the joke. I said, hey, is it that bad, huh? So she's like, I just need to go talk to your doctor. So she came back in and said, your doctor's going to rush you to the ER. You got 2 blood clots in your arm. So, you know,
Wow.
everything. I had 2 blood clots in my arm. And, you know, I never would have known or even thought of that, you know, that's what it would have been because I would sleep on my left side. So I just say, you know, just don't take life for granted, you know. Anything, like I tell my high school football players, because I'm a high school football coach at Luther North High School, don't take it for granted, man. This thing called football or life can get taken from you at any time. So you got to go hard every day, you know, like it's your last. And that's how I live my life, like it's my last day. You know, like today is my last day on earth. So I just like to live it up, you know.
That's got to be such a hard message to impart to athletes because on the one hand, I feel like many of us came up with coaches where it's like, are you hurt or are you injured? Right. And this idea of when you play on a team, like, you know, because I played football and you have a next man up mentality. So someone's always waiting to take your spot. So you never want to admit to not being your best or being hurt. So how in a culture that really, you know, people are always coming for your spot and we want people to like play through injury and all that other stuff. How do you think you'll get a message through about like checking with your body and, you know, it's okay to sit out and those sorts of things? How will you get that through to them?
I mean, we got a physician that's out there at practice every day, you know, that checks on the guys. So if they, you know, they have something wrong or they feeling something, you know, he can always go to, you know, Morgan, you know, which is our physician that's out there every day at practice. He get checked out and then, you know, he evaluate them after that. You know, so we have somebody right there at the field that, you know, if it's something major that, you know, they can call 911 or, you know, get the ambulance there or whatever. So, you know, that's basically a good thing to have him out there at practice every day so they don't have to go to a physician or leave practice or get a ride or anything like that. So it's kind of easier for them.
You mentioned the physician that you have there. It feels to me that it's been more recent about high school and college athletes, you know, passing out on the field, heat exhaustion, questions about practices being too strenuous, those sorts of things. Is it something that's always been happening and we just hear about those things more because of the presence of social media? Or have you noticed as a coach and being around like the high school game that these are things that we need to pay more attention to? And like, what are your thoughts around how we're taking care of players' health and safety?
I think it's been happening out and heard, you know, some kids, you know, passing out or going into cardiac arrest, like Bronny James recently. I think it was another kid
Right.
from the school that he passed out or something like that. I think it's been going on, but with social media, you know, it kinds of, you know, you hear about it more through social media. So I know in Missouri, like if you know, I think it gets over 95 or 100 degrees, you know, you either they cancel the practice or you can't practice with equipment on, or I know one particular time last week we didn't practice with any equipment on. So to help out with the heat for that, for that particular day.
That's what's up. And earlier I brought up on the intro about the support that you have been receiving. So I had some photos. Just tell us about, how you felt, at first, of course, you knowing about your condition, and now people are coming out in droves to support you, and basically saying you're not alone in this battle.
Yeah, these particular people, these are some of my coaches. Well, you probably know T.O. Nelson in the red shirt, best shine now that graduated with me. He came to see me like maybe 3 days in a row. He'd been, was calling my phone every other day or every day. And that's his son that goes to Lutheran North. His son goes to Lutheran North also. And these two football coaches, this is the head coach to my left, Kyle Wagner, which has been on the show before, in the black, and Coach Brett Jewell, which is the defensive coordinator on the right. And they've been supporting me, man, through this whole situation. So, coach was like, man, whatever time you need to take off, you can take off. Whatever you need, man, I'm here for you. And they just been, by my side, have been 100, since then, So, it's big up to them guys, man. And I got old Skeet right here, Terry Finn. He's the wide receivers coach at East St. Louis. He was like, man, I got to come check on my dogs, man. You know what I mean? Me and Skeet go way back. I used to coach his son, in Little League. And he just said he had to come see me. He'd been checking on me also. That's my boy, Coach Jamon Dukes. He coached with me at Matthews Dickey. I see him every week. He's been always there and checking on me also. He's a Leo just like me. So, we've been dogs from day one. This is my dog, Andy Love, Vashon alumni, class of 96 on the right.
And we have him on the show as well.
Yeah, and Love, he's a big time basketball coach, man, in the St. Louis area. He coach girls basketball, and his daughter is awesome. It's very good. I think she's going to the 8th grade, or maybe high school, one of the two. But she's one of the top basketball players, in the area. And my left is Jared Kendall. He's another coach at Lutheran North. Coach of wide receivers there, and these two guys just popped up on me at the same day. They didn't tell me they was coming, nothing. They just came up to the hospital and knocked on the door. Said, "Dog, I had to come see you. I had to come lay eyes on you." So they just pulled up on me. I was half asleep on this pitch. I think I just woke up.
So during the chemo that you've been going through, have you been experiencing any sharp pains or any reactions from what you've been going through over the last few months now?
So when I heard before I even had cancer, I just thought chemo was just it was just a rough, tough deal. But everybody's body reacts differently. So I haven't had a whole bunch of side effects. I have at one particular time, when I started, I had like some itchy skin, which the doctor prescribed me some pills, and it got rid of that. After round 1, I didn't feel any side effects afterwards. I got out the hospital on Friday, and I went to football practice on Friday, so I didn't have any effects. Wasn't fatigued. I wasn't anything. Rounds 2, 3, and the rounds 2 and 3, when I got out the hospital, I had a stomach ache for like 3 or 4 days, and I was real fatigued for like 3 or 4 days. So I had to snap out of that. And the exact same thing happened in round 3. But this last time, round 4, I was back to normal, didn't have any kind of symptoms, any kind of anything when I got out the hospital. When I actually went out of town. So like I got out the hospital Friday, went out of town for a week on this Sunday, and I was good the whole week. So I guess it was just like one of those things, man, where, I had to adjust to it or something like that. But hopefully after this round 5, I'm the same way. No symptoms, no stomach ache, no fatigue, no anything when I get out. So they kind of prepped me last time, and I had them prep me with some nausea medicine this time, also, so I can, see if I can, get the same results as I did last time.
Joe, any questions?
I was just listening to that. So you have one more after this, I think. So are they thinking that's it? Everything's going to be good afterwards?
So I'm claiming 6. The doctor says 6 to 8, but I'm claiming 6. I'm healed. I'm blessed. So I'm claiming 6, but he says 6 to 8. I go in for a CAT scan next Friday to see where I'm at in my mass, but he was like, man, everything looks good. I mean, you feeling good. You don't have any symptoms. You don't have anything. So he said, I think you're gonna be good. And then I talked to like 4 or 5 people that had lymphoma. The doctors told me, man, if you're gonna get cancer, lymphoma is the one to get, because lymphoma has a over 80% cure rate to it. It's not as aggressive as the lung cancers, the brain cancers, the colon cancers, whatever other kind of cancer that you can get. It's not as aggressive as those. It's easier to treat also. So lymphoma, they said lymphoma is the one to get if you're gonna get any cancer. Doctor told me, like, it's nothing that I did or didn't do to get this. It's something that just formed. So it's not nothing I ate. It's not nothing I drank. It's not nothing I smoked, because I don't smoke like that. I don't smoke anyway. It's nothing that I did or didn't do to get it. So it's just something that just forms.
And it's not hereditary or anything?
No, it's not hereditary, nothing. Nope. Nope. And I actually talked to a guy last week. He works security down at the Pepper Lounge. I had an event there last Friday, and I was talking to the owner. He was like, "Man, I haven't seen you in a while." I was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "You look a little different." I'm like, "Yeah, I got cancer. Lost all my facial hair. I'm battling cancer right now." He's like, "Oh man, I didn't know." So he's like, "Man, you're gonna be all right." So like the end of the night, the security had, walked up to me, said, "Man, yeah, man, I heard you had lymphoma." He said, "Yeah, I had it in 2016." He was just, like, "Yeah, I had it too." I was like, "Oh yeah." So he told me, he showed me pictures through Facebook. He had a big beard like I used to have, and a bald head. He lost all his facial hair. It looked just like me, just a light, he was a lighter complexion guy. So he was like, "Man, I had it. I had to do 6 treatments of chemotherapy, and I was good." So it kind of helped me out a little more. I think it was meant for me to talk to him, because I wasn't originally going to go to the event that particular night, but I said, I'm gonna go ahead and go, because I haven't been out in a while. So it was meant for me to see him, and talk to him about it, just to help me out with my mental, on the whole situation. So he's like, "Man, you're gonna be all right." I did it. My beard. I said, well, how long it take you to, you grow your beard back? He was like, "Man, it was like 2 months after my last round of chemo. I had my beard again." So it was like, it gave me that, that positive, outlook on everything.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought it up in regards to, well, one, because just like me, you be coming with the fresh beards and everything, bald head beard gang, we make it look good, but when you start seeing your hair leaving, in regards to your beard and everything, first I want to say I commend you in regards to how you're still posting as if nothing is wrong. Your energy has been positive on social media and the whole nine. Now, people may not see what goes on behind that, though, while you are at the hospital by yourself or while you're at home by yourself. And we know how mental health is such a big thing. But with me and my situation, for those who just tuned in now, July the 4th, I torn my patella tendon. And so I'm on a shelf for like 6 to 9 months recovery time. And that totally has humbled me. And there's times where, you are saying to yourself, "Man, I want to get this over. I want to get this process to go faster." And, it's hard to be patient because you always want to go. And it can affect your mental because you are not in a position where you normally are. So in regards to what you have gone through, Damion, has there been a moment in which you just sat down and maybe just had to let out tears or let out a yell of frustration? How have you been able to deal with this behind the scenes?
When I first got diagnosed, man, I got a little teary eyed, about the whole situation because I've never been sick. Like I don't have any kind of underlying health issues. So it was kind of hard at first, but after because when I initially came in the hospital, I spent 14 days here in the hospital with all the diagnoses and the biopsies they had to do and the scans and all that. So I spent 14 days in the hospital. So at first it was hard, but after me talking to a few people and talking to the doctors and all that, he was just like, man, after you do your chemo, you're gonna be all right. I mean, that's like, that's the way he was talking, when I got it, when I got diagnosed or whatever. So he was just like, man, you're gonna be all right, you're gonna be good. I see this all the time, you got the mass in your chest, but after your chemo, you're gonna be all right. So like me just talking to people, talking to the doctor, and not stressing on it. That's the main thing, not stressing on it. And I got football. Football helps me out a whole lot, man, with going to practice and doing the things that I was able to do. Like I'm not on any type of restrictions. Nothing I can't do that I did before. So that kind of helps me out. I'm not laid up in the hospital or whatever. I'm just sitting here. I call it a staycation. I called Mercy the Ritz Carlton because I mean they treat me treat me so well up in here. They whatever I want. All the nurses know me. If I need a bigger room, they give me. If I need another bed, if I need a couch, if I need a TV, they give me whatever I want in here. The food is great. So I just got to stay 5 days to get my chemo running. And that's it, man. Just, like I said, football helps me out a lot. And being able to do the things that I was able to do before helps me out a lot. So I'm not sitting at home, dwelling on it or moping about it. And, stuff like that make you sick, So being stressed up.
And speaking of support, and I said in the opening, bringing you in, my best friend is Jonathan, which he's your cousin. So I know W. Daniels, their family. I'm saying we're all family.
Yeah, Jonathan was actually here. He was actually here with his wife's mother.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
She was she ended up passing,
Right.
So like 3 weeks ago. So he was here, like he came to see me a couple of times, brought me some food, because when I was in the hospital, he was spending the night up here, with his mother-in-law. So he was here,
Oh.
He was a floor. Well, it was actually on the same floor before she passed. So she got moved to the same floor I'm on. And then like, a few hours later she ended up passing. But he was here. Yeah, Cuzzo was here.
That's what's up. And yeah, I was just gonna say, I know the family has been giving you so much outpouring support because they any event I'm doing, it's a party. they come in droves. Yeah, they come in droves, and we have a wonderful time. So I know when it comes to supporting each other, that's something that they're never going to fail in or lack in.
Oh yeah, my family, we dance, man. From my 90-year-old aunt to my grandmother to everyone. We party,
Right.
man. I've been getting support from my family and actually a lot of people, friends, and a lot of people that I don't even know. Like I've been getting the support has been tremendous. Like I got people that I don't even know. Like, hey, man, you need anything, man, let me know. I know I don't really know you, but I mean, it seems like a lot of people, look up to you and know you're a great guy. So if you need something, let me know. And the support has been tremendous, man, through this whole 3 months.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Once again, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show, your Wednesday night sports delight. I'm your boy Smooth. We have Annie, we have Jobo, and we have our special guest, Coach Damion Mitchell, who is currently battling cancer, y'all. He's in round 5 of 6. Is that correct?
5 or 6.
There we go. And he's claiming it. 6 is it. We ain't going past. We ain't going no further.
No
6
further.
is it. So I'm loving the positivity, man. Before we continue on in regards to sports and everything with you, 23 has been a crazy year, hasn't it?
Oh man, it's been crazy.
I mean, just as you just brought up, Jonathan's wife, his mother-in-law passing away, and you find out about you having cancer. Myself, and so many other people who's going through trials and going through trials right now. This has been a rough year, but just got to continue to stay prayed up, keep God first, and allow people to love on you while they can as well, man. So, like you said before, live your life to the fullest, because you just don't know. Joe, I'm sure someone you may know is dealing with something crazy right now that they didn't see happening, and you as well, and for all those watching. So, we hope that this episode here, touches you. You learn something from it, seeing how what one person or people are going through, and it can just make you a better person overall as well. Before we continue, Joe says 6 is a serious number. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But once again, it's a pleasure having you on, man. And of course, we're gonna always be keeping you in prayer in regards to what you're going through, and that, like you said before, 6 is it, and we can say, hey, I dealt with this, I moved on, and I'm better for it. Going back to your team, Lutheran North, how has the players have they been saying anything to you? Uh, any certain encouraging words or anything that they've been doing to just keep your mental good?
So when I'm out there at practice, man, players always walk up to me, man, you coach you good? Coach you good? Because sometimes I need to sit down and take a break, or I need to get in some shade or something like that. They always, oh, coach, you good? You need some water? You need some, coach, you all right? You good? Yeah, they always checking on me, man. They always checking on me. And I can't wait to see them when I get out on Friday. We got our jamboree on Friday at John Burroughs High School. So I'm looking forward to running up out of here and getting to the jamboree so I can, check our boys out and coach them up.
Right. And as we brought it before, last time you was on the show a couple of years ago, you were at the time at Rittner. How has things been at Lutheran North and under the head coach, who I know he was a previous guest on our show as well, man? How has things been going at Lutheran North? How's the team looking? I'm pretty sure I got some big things coming up in store.
Well, Coach Kyle Wagner was the guy that hired me there. Really, I've been with Coach.
Okay.
Wagner. Yeah, he was the coach there. He hired me then. I've been with Coach Wagner going on my 4th year now. And actually, when he got the job at Lutheran North, I was going to leave Rittner anyway. And it just so happened he got the job at Lutheran North. He said, man, he called me like, man, I need you, I need you on the staff again. So kind of worked out like that, man. Lutheran North has always been one of the high schools that I always wanted to coach at. I'm going in my 5th year of coaching high school and my 14th year of coaching Little League. So Lutheran North was always the tops. It was Lutheran North, CBC, and Trinity. I always wanted to coach at either one of those schools. So, I'm blessed to have the opportunity to coach at Lutheran North and going into my 3rd year. We're looking, pretty good. We got a tough schedule again. We opened up versus Hazelwood Central. They actually moved. They actually moved the game to Saturday night to Missouri Baptist University, the first high school game to ever be at Missouri Baptist. As I can recall, because Hazelwood Central is getting a new turf field put in, and their field is not going to be ready yet. So they moved the game to Saturday night, August 26th at 7 p.m. at Missouri Baptist University, right next to CBC. And this is going to be a big game, man. The whole town is going to be there because that's the only Saturday night game that's going on that night. And we're looking to go 1-0. We're looking to go 1-0 every week in everything we do.
That's what's up, man. And congrats on being the first team that's about to hold things down at Missouri Baptist football field. I know it's going to be a wonderful event. I want to take it all the way back, though. It's usually our first question. up for our guests, but I want to get the conversation going first with what you're going through with the chemotherapy. But let's take it back. When will you say that you first fell in love with sports?
Man, I first fell in love with sports at about 8, I would say. Basketball was my first love. Uh, being around the game, and a lot of people don't know this, but me and Larry Hughes, professional basketball players, CBC standout, we was next door neighbors for like half of our life. So, we've been playing basketball since he was like 3 or 4. So he kind of got me introduced into basketball with playing with him. We played on the team together, at youth. So it kind of started then, man, when I was like 8 years old, man. We fell in love with basketball first. Football was later. Football didn't really kick in until I was like 12, 12, 13, heading into high school. But basketball was always my first love, man. Basketball and swimming when I was a kid. I was on the swim team at like 8 or 9 years old when I used to go see my dad in Boston, Massachusetts. So, those years that I spent the whole summer with him, I was on the swim team.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
We always got
Swimming,
something different. We have pickleball, tennis, track, and now we got swimming. That's the first time I think we've heard of that.
Yeah, I used to be a lifeguard also, so I just love the water. My son actually loves the water too. He's like a split image of me. Like everything I love, he loves. His favorite food is pizza. He loves Smoothie King. Like you know what I mean? He's a split image of me. So he's just, swimming is our thing. Now football is my thing. So I'm a football fanatic.
So who made the decision for you to go to Vashon?
Me actually. Yeah, me actually.
Really?
I stayed. I'm originally from the JVL, so a lot of those JVL people went to Vashon. This picture here is my prom picture from 1997. RIP to my guy Melvin on the left, who passed last year.
Oh wow!
We graduated together, Melvin Wallace, and my boy Eddie Nichols in the middle, and David Little below. Yeah, they're my guys right there, man. We still keep in touch. We still talk. A lot of guys you don't talk to, that you went to high school with, but these two guys, that's in the middle, I talk to them on a daily basis. So that's me on the right with the Versace shades on. I've been doing it for a long time, dog.
Yes, Versace.
Man, Versace shades in high school, dog. I've been doing it for a long time.
Man, I wish I would have thought about it before, but Joe Annie, one year he came with a Mr. Brown costume. Mr. Brown from the Medea movies and everything. He came with a mean Mr. Brown costume. I mean, you thought he was really David Mann. I was like, this dude came.
Hey, Smooth, that costume was classic, man. Every contest I entered, I won so much money with that Mr. Brown costume, man. It was ridiculous, man. I used to win thousands of dollars. That costume was confident. I think I did Mr. Brown like 2 years in a row, man. I just had to run it back.
Right.
And then I think I did Mr. T after that, man. That was classic also.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Mr. T, man, won a lot of money. That's when they used to do the big, the big costume contest and all that $1,000 giveaways and $500 giveaways. I used to win all those with those costumes.
Got it in. So, how would you describe your high school career?
I had a pretty good high school career. We're starting off with football. I started as a sophomore. I started varsity as a sophomore. I actually played defensive tackle, starting on varsity as a sophomore. Then my junior year, I started outside linebacker. And then my senior year was kind of, was cut short. I broke my leg in summer practice. So I didn't get to play my senior year of high school. It was kind of rough on me. But I was able to play again after that, after shattering my leg. I shattered 3 places. I still got the titanium rod in my leg now.
Mm.
But I was still able to play, a little arena ball and minor league for 10 years. So I played, 10 years minor league and, like a year or two arena ball. So I was able to get back out there on the field. I got championships and, in those also. Of course, championships with the coaching aspect of it. But I felt like I had a pretty good, high school career. Going into my senior year, I was one of the top, players, linebackers coming into the season. It just cut short with me, breaking my leg in summer practice.
And I'm not sure if you heard the earlier show, but you're not the only football player right now on the screen. And I ain't talking about me, but Annie. She was a beast on the football field. Annie, let him know who you are and how much you of a beast you were and what position you played as well.
Played for the Slam?
Yeah, I played for the Slam from 2016 to 2019.
Oh, okay. What position did you play?
I was at defensive in my first 2 years and then defensive tackle in my last year.
Okay, so you got a couple of championships then with the Slam.
3, yeah.
Yeah, because the Slam been winning some championships out there.
Yeah.
I remember when the Slam first started, I was playing with the St. Louis Bulldogs then, and they was just like getting off the ground, and they used to play down at Southwest High School, down there on the south side with the Kings Highway and with the Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
They used to play down there, man, and they was just getting started then. That's some good football, man. You want to see some women play football? Man. We used to go to them Slam games. I used to be like, man, these are women, these are chicks running the ball like this. Man, it was out there, dog. It was serious. And I ain't been to a game in a few years, and I bet it got more serious since then. But man, when they first started back then, man, they was whoosh, linebacker, they was hitting, they was running, cutting, catching, everything, man. You wouldn't even think that was women out there.
Yeah, and I've been meaning to go to games, man. I got to go to one next year, Annie. It's been too long. I've known you long enough to at least go to at least one game by now, but I do need to go out to some games. So next season, I guarantee you, I'm going to make sure I go to a game, and I want to make sure that we set up shop, so we can conduct interviews and everything at the game as well. So I have like a platform sports talk show, event going on there at a game. So I wanted to support in person for the St. Louis Slam because y'all been doing some amazing things, and I know y'all been doing y'all promo. They've been doing their promo and everything. I just want to do what I can on my part to bring it up even more, get some incredible players and coaches to be hopefully on the show next season, and just spread the word even more about the excellence that is St. Louis Slam. So we got some football players. Damion, I'm not sure if you recall, but I used to play at Matthews Dickey when I was younger. I was like maybe 8, 9 years old. I played for 1 year, and it was the last time I played football. And the reason why, okay, now you ain't gonna believe this when I played, but when I did play, I was on offense. I was a tight end. On defense, I was a defensive end. And every time I made a sack, yes, I was the sack master. Believe it or not, I was the sack master. But you hear the PA announcer, sack by, I think he said Ready Freddy or something like that. But yeah, I was known to do my thing on the football field at Matthews Dickey. So shouts out to him. But the reason why I stopped playing is because I never had a play call for me until I finally had my moment, right? The coach called the play. And I knew that it would be successful because I just saw how they were playing my position because, of course, they weren't ready for me to catch any kind of ball. So the coach called the play. The quarterback hikes it. He goes back. I'm do a move. I'm wide open. I'm like, this is my moment. Here we go. And guess what happened? The quarterback got sacked. And that was the last time a play was ever called for me when I played football. And I was like, man, you know what? I'm done. It ain't meant for me to play football. So I just focus on basketball and and baseball and all the other sports. But I was like, man, I'm good. I'm good on football.
Yeah,
Just
man.
it's inside.
You used to do your thing when you was hooping too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, it was some cool times there, man. I always wish that I could have done more at the V because that's the reason why I went there. You know, my whole family is pretty much born V side, in a system. So as soon as I left grade school, my mom wanted me to go to the V, and why not? Because that's the V. But it's just
Right.
unfortunate that things didn't work out, the way that I wanted to. In regards, because I know if I would have got more of an opportunity and did my thing, that who God knows where I would be in regards to sports wise during that time frame. But things happen for a reason. It is what it is. But it definitely was some great times at the V, and it was cool seeing you do your thing on the football field. I went to a few games, during those years, and I'm not sure if you recall, but because I played soccer at the V,
Mhm.
and I think it was either Coach Mitch or Ferg, and shouts out to him. But they saw me kicking the soccer ball around, and they was like, "Yo, Fred, you know what? You got a leg on you, man. Why don't you see about being a kicker?" And I'm like, maybe I can do that. You know what I'm saying? So went out there and like I was kicking field goals. You know what I'm saying? I was doing my thing. 'Cause, of course, the old school, so we had the pit, and then on the left side you had the football field.
Right.
And I was doing my thing. So I'm like, oh, maybe I can do this. But I was still busy with playing this sport and that sport, so it's gonna be kind of hard to try to, you know, do all those things. But that was gonna be my only moment that I might come back to football was being the kicker. Like let's go. Get these field goals. I can do that part. But yeah.
Hey, man, kickers are a crucial position, man, in football, man.
Yeah.
I see a lot of games won and lost by field goals, missed extra points, and all that, man. There was a lot of them last football season. A lot of them. So, and it definitely go on in little league and high school, man. You win, 21-20, and 19-18, and all that. So, hey, them field goal kickers, man, starting to make a lot of money.
I feel like there was a couple games in the NFL last year that were won and lost based.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of them were lost this past couple of years based off the kickers.
Yeah, Joe, you're not lying. A lot of them was lost. So, and then after I think Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl, what was it, 2 years ago? Their field goal kicker got like an extension, and because he won like a couple of them games, man, for them. So he got like an extension, a big paycheck, and all kind of stuff. So yeah, they paying them kickers more now.
And I asked Annie about, well, she was telling you about the football season and preseason. What are your thoughts in regards to the upcoming football season? Who's that team? I saw that you had a little post about Zeke the Freak. Now you playing with the Patriots. You know what? Hold off on that. Hold off on that. Annie, your thoughts on seeing Ezekiel Elliott now, formerly with the Cowboys, now with the Patriots?
It doesn't look right. Like when Emmitt Smith went to the Cardinals, like
you sound like me now, Annie. It just doesn't look right.
It just doesn't look. It's the Jobo analysis of running backs. It just don't look right. I really thought he was coming back to Dallas. I think that Jerry Jones likes him as a person, and so I really thought that they were going to like restructure his deal. He would come back in more of a supportive role with Pollard being the starter. We don't even know if Pollard's completely healthy. So just having that security blanket there. So I really thought he was coming back. So I think I didn't bring that up in terms of what's caught my attention, because I think I'm still in like denial that it's even happening and that there's like still time for us to go get him back.
Did you want him back?
Of course. I love Zeke. So I wanted him back. I wanted him to start. I feel like part of what made Pollard great last year was having a 1-2 punch. I don't think Pollard will be the same if he's the feature back. But yeah, I mean, but Deuce Vaughn showed a little something in this last preseason game. I was loving it. He had like a whole drive to himself to like showcase his talents. I always root
He
for
like
my height.
4'7". Right. He's super short.
He's my height. So I'm rooting for him. So but yeah, no, I'm in denial. Is the ink dry? Do we know yet? Do we know if this is permanent? Let's just consider this like a temporary thing.
It's a 1 year. It's a 1 year deal right now.
I don't think the ink is dry though. I think that it's probably just reported. That was probably just Schefter just like talking about something.
Nah, it's official.
The ink is dry.
It's official.
It's not official till the first game starts. I have to see him playing the game first.
His first practice was today, and he went back to number 15, his college number.
Yeah. I got to see him in a game first. There's still time.
What's up, Coach Jewel? What's going on? Coach Jewel checking in.
Yeah, shouts out once again to all those leaving the comments. We appreciate you. We have Anna Johnson. Good job, Damion. Okay.
Granny right there. You know Granny right there.
Yep. You brought her up earlier. The party woman. The party girl.
I'm tuning in.
That's what's up. But you're going back to you, man. What teams are you looking forward to seeing this year? Who can make a surprise run?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna say, Zeke, my boy, man. I know Zeke personally. He's a Matthew Dickey product. The coach I actually coach with, Coach Ray Merriweather, actually coached Zeke, at Matthews Dickey. So, he's always around. He always come back and give back to Matthews Dickey. He does his his football combine and all that at Matthews Dickey. And he actually every year Zeke brings the football team down to Dallas. So last December, he brought our whole football team down to Dallas, paid for everything, buses, hotels, food, tickets to the game, renting out the bowling alley after the game. He does that every year. So he brings the team down from Matthew Dickey every year.
So what I'm hearing is that you can text him right now and be like, hey, it's your boy. Come back to Dallas. You don't want to take people to Foxborough. That's not a fun trip. People don't want to go from St. Louis to Foxborough. You want to bring them back to Dallas. So if you could just we can wait, we can banter while you text him. If you got your phone next to you, just send him a quick message and be like, come on home, Z.
Yeah, it's a money thing, man. I got an inside scoop that, New England offered him the most, for that 1 year. So, he took that and ran with it. But those teams, I'm a Colts fan. I'm a diehard Indianapolis Colts fan. I've been a Colts fan for years. So I'm looking forward to seeing what my Colts gonna do with Richardson, the quarterback. Now has been, they say he's a starter. So I'm looking forward to seeing, because the quarterback situation in Indianapolis after Andrew Luck has been like a carousel. We had 7 to 8 different quarterbacks the last 7 or 8 years. So I'm looking forward to, to see what he's going to do and, him to put his stamp on it, on the NFL. But I see some of the Jets, man. The Jets seem like they done loaded up, especially we're getting Cook now, man. Cook I wish we could have got Cook with Jonathan Taylor, back in the ass like he is. But, man, they just signed Cook, man. I think the Jets, man, has built something out there. They might be. I'm not saying they're gonna go to the Super Bowl or whatever, but I think the Jets gonna make some noise this year, especially with getting Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. And then you're gonna have the same teams, the Chiefs, and I was looking for the Bills to make a big run, but the Bills, disappointed in the last season, man. I just knew the Bills had the Super Bowl last year, where they played the year before. But man, you're still gonna have the Chiefs up there. I think the NFC wise, man. I think the NFC is wide open. I don't think there's no really clear-cut team in the NFC.
The Eagles? You don't think the Eagles?
I mean, the Eagles, they might be the number one ranked, but I don't think, like the AFC got like 4 or 5 teams that can go and they can, that can make some noise. The NFC, man, I think the NFC is wide open. I think the NFC is wide open.
So next week we'll do our official predictions. So get
I'm
ready.
excited about it this time.
Okay.
Last year I was kind of thrown off, and you said the Lions were gonna be good, and then I was like, "You're high on something," and then they end up being almost really good, and so I was like,
Yep.
"Fred's on to something." So Jets are gonna be exciting, obviously, from what you said. Lions, I don't know. I'm excited. I like watching the first couple games, and then the playoffs. My husband's in the he's got his fantasy draft coming up in a couple of weeks, so I like listening to who he drafts and whatnot. So, I'm a little more excited this year.
And for those watching, feel free to leave a comment in regards to who your team is. Let us know. I already know what Andy's prediction is going to be in regards to the NFC side. We'll see about the AFC side in regards to the predictions. So stay tuned next week for our NFL predictions on the platform.
You already know who her Super Bowl champ prediction is going to be.
Exactly.
Just like
Like
World
I said,
Series is going to be the Pirates.
Right. Like I said, I just gotta know who that they're playing against. But hold that thought, Andy, until next week. We're gonna definitely have a whole segment on this. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. But going back, man, to your younger years, was there a moment that you realized that, hey, I want to be a coach. I want to be that figure that these kids need in regards to their development?
Yeah, man, I got into coaching the end of 2009. And it was just, I felt that it was my time, man, with, the knowledge that I know, in the game of football. So I just thought it was my time then. And it just took off from there, starting with the youth. And then my name got out there with the youth. And I got a high school coaching job at Live for Life. So my first high school coaching job, where I actually was on the payroll, was at Live for Life 5 years ago. I was volunteering at the V for like 2003 to 2004, volunteering.
I was about to ask that too.
Yeah, I volunteered, but I don't really, I did a couple years of coaching down there. But it was just volunteer work, just being around, your alma mater, being down at the V. But actually payroll, going into my 5th year, my first official coaching job was at Live for Life High School. Then I went to Ridner for that year. So I actually elevated. So I started at Live for Life as the defensive backs coach. Got hired at Ridner as the defensive coordinator at Ridner. Opportunity came along, at one of the schools that I was going to coach at, which is so I'm the defensive backs coach and co-defensive coordinator, JV defensive coordinator there. So, it's been a great ride. I love coaching. I love coaching my youth. I love coaching my high school. Like, I can't wait to go to practice. When in the football season, I'm on double duty. I leave my high school practice and go right to my little league practice. So, I'm coaching from 3 to, like 9 p.m. every day. High school football games on Friday, little league football games on Sunday. So it all just works out, and then, Lutheran North is 5 minutes from Matthews Dickey. So I leave one practice to the next, and I'm on time to everything. So I love it, man. I love coaching. I love coaching.
That's awesome. Not saying it's a dream job for you, but do you want to eventually, if the opportunity presents itself, coaching at the V?
Run it by me again. I'm sorry.
If the opportunity presents itself, would you like to at the V?
Opportunity presented itself before. I didn't take the job, or I didn't go down there.
Okay.
So I just, I wanted to. So when we go back. So when I think Will Franklin first got the job, and a guy that we all know, Orner Britt, was helping him out there, and they're good friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to Will when he got the job, and he was like, "Man, I'm kind of overwhelmed right now. I'm still getting everything together." He was like, "I'm gonna call you you know, and rap to you, you know, when I get everything settled or whatever, I get everything together. So in the midst of him, you know, taking a week or two to call me, I got the call from I think Live for Life then. So when he called me back, I was like, man, I signed on to Live for Life already. And they was like, "Yeah, man, I really needed you and all this and that. So, you know, I could have, you know, I had the opportunity to go back down there. I had a couple of opportunities after that to go back down there. I just rather just stay where I'm at right now. Because I don't coach for the money, you know. You know, it's not a whole bunch of money anyway. So I don't coach for the money, and I love where I'm at. I love the coaching staff, you know, at Lutheran North. I think we got one of the top coaching staffs in the area, and the kids, man, I love the kids that's there. So I just rather just stay where I'm at, you know.
And I asked you this about you being a club promoter and how things have changed with people and how they are. How is it in regards to coaching from when you first started to now? We see how these kids are, social media uh, really expose these kids, you know, that they show different side. You have a lot of peer pressure going on. Once again, mental stuff, mental issues going on, possibly. I mean, mental health going on. So, how would you say things are now coaching kids compared to when you first started?
I think it's I mean, of course, you got social media. So social media can help and hurt a kid. I think it's helping more kids than hurting them though. You know, if you do the right things with it. Because you know, we didn't have that back when we was in high school. Like we didn't have, you know, we didn't have internet. I think internet was after we graduated, it was just coming out. We didn't have Twitter, we didn't have Instagram, all these things that help kids out nowadays. Like if you a kid right now, man, and you don't have your grades, you a fool because it's so easy to get a college scholarship nowadays, you know, than it was back in the day. Like back in the day when we was coming up, you didn't have no Alabama and no Georgia and no Florida State and Tennessee. You don't have them. You didn't see Nick Saban in St. Louis. You know what I mean? Like you didn't even know. You know they didn't come around here, but now they in St. Louis. They going to every high school. They going to, you know, and that's from the internet. you can put your highlights. Uh, put your highlights on the internet, man. You can get a scholarship after you put your highlights on the internet. So I think it helps more. Excuse me, let me my little thing going on. Hold on one second. Got a little air in my line here. I know how to fix it myself now. But yeah. So you got, man, the internet that helps out. I think that it helps out more than it hurts. You know, you just can't do nothing stupid. You know, like some of these kids do, holding pistols and, you know, just doing dumb stuff on the internet. So I think it helps out more now than ever. You know, from us, you know, not having it back in the days. You just got to be smart with it.
Got you. And I want to talk about these three letters that has affected the landscape of college sports, and that's NIL. I'm sure, as you just brought up, you know, you probably have seen the Nick Sabans and the who's of college coaches over the last couple of years, and the NIL and how much that has affected, and the transfer portal, should I say, has affected sports. From you seeing it from your point of view, what are your thoughts in regards to both NIL and transfer portal, and is it good for the game, especially if you think about high school students who, before NIL or before transfer portal, would have had a clear shot once you get a scholarship that boom, you're going to that school, it's all good. But now you get that scholarship offer, but then let's say, oh, certain player from Clemson or whatever is transferring to the same school that you just got an opportunity to go to, but now your shot could be taken away because of the transfer portal or NIL. Just from your point of view, what are your thoughts in regards to how it's changed football recruiting?
You know, transfer portal definitely changed the recruiting. Now you got to be you know, you got to have those measurables for sure. You know, you got to have, you know, you got to be tall, you got to be big, you got to be fast. And, you know, they'll get a kid that's coming from, like you said, another school, man, that can play right away. If you don't have them grades in order, they not going to take their chance on you. Them grades is, you know, me being a high school coach, man, I didn't know how much. Well, I mean, I always knew grades was a big factor, but me being a high school coach and sitting in a room with coaches, with college coaches, man, them grades really matter because they don't want to take a chance on you, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, man, if you're going to go in there and flunk out. They don't want to take the chance on you. So them college coaches, man, they come in, man, they ask for film. They watch 2 minutes of the film. Yeah, I like them. But what is grades looking like? Like literally. Like they don't even see the whole highlight film yet. They watch 2 minutes. Just say if the kid got a 5-minute highlight film or a 10-minute highlight film. They watch 2 minutes and say, what is grades looking like after that? I done seen enough. You know what I mean? So them grades really matter, man, for them kids. So if you make sure you have them grades in order, 3.0 is the goal. You know, I'm gonna be on my son, man. When he get 3.0, I'm on him now. But when he get up there in high school, man, 3.0 is the goal. You can't mess up your freshman year. If you mess up your freshman year in high school, man, you're gonna have a long hill to climb when you become a senior and you know them offers trying to come in because they're not gonna offer you if you don't have the grades. So them grades really matter. For as NILs, man, I think, you know, man, these college kids, man, they banking it, man. They banking it, man. Women, the guys, man, they banking that money, man, with them NILs, man. And, you know, I see it all the time. I see Dion, them son, man, they 300,000. He just bought the new Maybach truck, and you know, man, them guys living it up, man. And I think, you know, I mean, it's time for them to get paid. You know, I think it's time for them to get paid, man. You got, you know, high school kids coming out, you know, getting $5 million NILs. I mean, man, some of them kids like, man, go to the NFL for what? They like, I'm making that now. You know, like what's her name from LSU? The gymnast. I forgot her name. She getting out.
Yeah.
I mean, the NIL, I mean, they banking it. They said like all the Florida, I heard something like all the Florida football players get like $60,000 some dollars or something a season or something like that. So man, they getting that money, man. It's time. It's time. I like it. I like it.
And even LSU basketball player Angel Reese, like she's already getting millions of dollars. And
Yeah,
Andy, I can't recall.
She don't even want to go to. She don't even want to go to the NBA.
I'm about to say that because I can't recall if Andy, if you brought it up or not a while back about like, hey, if I'm already getting all these millions and making more than the WNBA, why should I be in a rush to even go to the WNBA when I'm making more bank in college?
Yeah. Yeah, WNBA players, I think I'm making like 60,000 or something like a season or something like that, maybe. Livy Dunn, because Brett Jewell said Livy Dunn.
That's the LSU player you were referring to earlier.
Gymnast, yeah.
Gymnast, excuse me. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, man, they were like, man, go to the WNBA for what? I'm already making millions of dollars in that. I ain't even do it to make 60,000, 80,000, whatever they make. So
right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's time, man.
And seeing these college athletes getting sponsored by like Mercedes Benz and you know all this, it's like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, like
that's crazy.
Luther Burden up there in Mizzou, he got Mercedes Benz. He driving around the campus in the Benz, like they getting that money.
Exactly. And going back to the grades, Annie is also she's currently a teacher. She's in her third school year teaching. Annie, as a teacher, do you have like this? Like the first day, you have like this big speech or whatever in regards to your expectations and what you tell your students before the school year starts.
Not really. They're graduate students. If they're not motivated and they're paying $50,000 to $100,000 for a master's degree, ain't nothing I say gonna get them riled up about it.
Right. It totally makes sense. But like, yeah, I think I don't realize it was graduate students already, but my bad. So yeah, you definitely right. If you don't know by now, something's definitely wrong. But yeah, so going back to the NIL transfer portal, 'cause I think Caleb Love had an issue when he tried to go from North Carolina to Michigan. They because his grade or something, that's why he couldn't stay in Michigan and had to transfer again to Arizona because of what you said before, coach, in regards to you got to make sure your grades are at a certain level when you trying to get recruited or whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't his grades. It was that the credits for the courses that he
Okay, the
was in
credits.
North Carolina didn't transfer to similar classes at Michigan.
Oh, okay.
So he would have lost
Okay.
some credits, and he didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And Annie, she is a UNC Tar Heel big time supporter, so you can't say anything wrong about Tar Heels either. Okay.
Hey, I'm a Duke fan, so that's my rival.
Uh-oh.
I'm out. I'm out. Ew, that's
And-
so gross.
We're gonna beat Carolina by 50 this year.
In what?
In basketball.
No, like NCAA basketball?
Yeah,
Like
NCAA basketball.
never. That's
It's not
never
gonna be
happened in the
important.
history of the rivalry.
Yeah,
It
it's
will
not
never
gonna be perfect.
happen.
I'm sorry, Annie.
Not at all. That's disgusting. Is it just because of Jason Tatum? He wasn't even that
No.
good for y'all to just love
been-
Duke for that.
I've been a Duke fan since 1990, actually.
Oh, so you've had this affliction for a very long time.
Yeah.
So like condition. Okay. We can't all be great at everything. I understand. We all have our Achilles heel. That's yours. We've been doing great until this point. I've been feeling, I've been vibing, and then you said, man,
it was good until this point. Yeah, now
everybody has a flaw, and that's yours. So
I have the flaw. And speaking of which, that's why I want to bring up this comment from Ms. Williams, because I know Andy probably saw it earlier. But she was for the Niners, Green Bay, and anyone who plays Dallas.
again, love Miss Williams, but everybody has a flaw. Miss Williams has been at A1 from day one. Love all that Miss Williams contributes, except for that comment right there. And we just gonna Control X, Control V in the trash. That's all.
It's all good. But once again, thanks for everyone who has been providing the comments throughout the whole night. It's been amazing. Damion Mitchell, thank you once again for being on the show. Even while you're in a hospital, you could have been like, "Nah, I'll wait later on," or "I'm good, I'll tell them a story." But you have done it, man, and we definitely appreciate you for just being transparent. That's what our show is all about. It is being transparent, keeping it 100, so others can see and can be like, you know what, if he did this or if she did that, I can do the same thing as well, man. So we definitely appreciate you being on the show and telling your story and keeping it 100 with us.
And then I'm gonna come back, man, and tell my success story, man.
There it is. Exactly.
Cancer, how it's totally gone. I'm cancer free, all that. So I'll be back.
Yep, most definitely. Just like, I'll be still here every week, if not on screen, but producing, and I'll be providing everyone the updates in regards to how things going with my torn patella tendon, which was not torn anymore. I got the surgery, but in regards to the healing process and the rehab and everything, physical therapy. So I always say progress is sexy, man. So we got to keep our sexiness going by progressing every day, man.
Definitely.
Did you have any special shout outs that you want to go ahead and give? The floor is yours.
Man, I want to shout out, man, to, all my supporters, all the people that have stuck by me through this, me battling cancer, all my coaches, all my family, all my friends, all my, the people that support my promotion business, all the people that's showing up to my birthday events this weekend at Elmo's and Love. Man, I just appreciate everyone, my kids, praise God, man. without him, I wouldn't be here. But I'm truly blessed, with everything I've even been through in my life before battling cancer. So, I mean, a lot of people don't know my whole life story, but I've been through a lot. It probably don't look like it, but I've been through a lot growing up, man, especially in the neighborhoods that I grew up in. So, I'm just blessed to be here, man, and able to see, the age 44 and here in 2.5 hours, August 17th, Big Leo, 44, my favorite number, one of my old football number, my son football number, so it's my favorite number. So I'm just blessed, man. I'm just blessed.
So, with that being said,
Hey, that's the old family reunion. You know what I'm saying? Right there, boy. I appreciate the birthday shout out.
oh yeah, most definitely, man. And thanks again for being on the show. And we would definitely follow up on you when it's all said and done and you're good to go. Have you back on, and you can tell even more stories and show more transparency on the Platform Sports Talk Show, man. So thank you very much again, man. And to all those, well, I'm sorry, Joe, did you have any last verse before we go?
Keep kicking cancer's ass. You're awesome, and I look forward to having you back on the show so we can hear about you beating it.
Yeah, I had my beard back then.
Uh-oh. So he gonna be ready then, Annie.
Not only am I praying for your healing, your lymphoma, but also your deliverance from being a Blue Devils fan.
I knew you were gonna say something like that. I just knew it.
She won't be Annie.
Let's go, Duke.
You can't serve an awesome God and worship a Blue Devil. So you got to pick one. You got two masters right now. You got to come over to the blue side of heaven. So.
Yeah, so once again, thank you very much. And for those who tuned into the Platform Sports Talk Show for the first time, we hope this isn't the last time. Give us a follow. We on Facebook. We on the formerly Twitter, now it's the X. We on YouTube. Just subscribe. Click on that bell, because anytime we go live, Joe,
you will be notified.
There we go. You can email us at platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. We on that Instagram at Platform Sports Talk. The show, once again, will be uploaded immediately on Roku after we are off the air. Our archives on Roku, Facebook, on the X, on YouTube as well. You can also hear our voices on Hot 365 Radio. Download the app, whether you have Android, whether you have iOS, or just go to their website, hot365radio.com, and just check out our sexy voices every Wednesday night. And you already know, if you don't know, every first Wednesday of the month, you have Ladies Night. The ladies just take over and do an incredible job breaking down all the high sports topics that's going on throughout the time. Shouts out to Bunny, who was on the show earlier. Shouts out to Coach Brittany Willis, holding things down as well. She's a teacher as well. Of course, Annie and Jobo. And then we have the Man Cave. Shouts out to Stanton, to Sadal, T-Bone, who's doing law school, doing big things, and to Create Black, who had a successful community customer kids here in St. Louis over the last 2 weeks. Also, shouts out to my wife, Jamie. Love you. You had a wonderful event this past Sunday, even with the rain coming. She held things down for her Girls for Life back to school event. A wonderful turnout. Everyone got the book bags. Everyone ate good. Smoooth Productions was holding things down while sitting, relaxing, had my leg propped up, but it still was a fun time. And shouts out to Rodney's Angels as well, who partnered with Girls for Life for an incredible event this past Sunday. To everyone else, thanks for tuning into the Platform Sports Talk Show, your Wednesday night sports delight. Everyone have a wonderful rest of your week. We out this thing. Peace and love.